Ramblings of a Mad Guy. It's me, the Mad Guy. Well, I haven't done that intro in a while. I like doing intros when nobody's here.
So we would get
To
argue a
concept here, but what he's
This is good. Das ist gut. Let's see if there's anything silly. Anything silly we can watch in the meantime. His answer, Matt Dillahunty's answer is beautiful.
Right here in the middle for Matt.
Yes, sir. My name is Jim. Matt, you and I go back a long ways. You may not remember, but 1980, 85, 89.
At Harvester.
We were members of Harvester Baptist Church. We were so proud of you. You were one of our bright stars. You were a bright young man. You were a leader in our youth group. And I stand here today and I want to just ask one question. What was it that triggered in your life the change? Because if I'd have bet in 1987 when you graduated from Francis Howe, you'd have been a star. And I just want to know, for my own edification and for us, what was the trigger?
And thanks, Jim. By the way, when I mentioned that there were people here, so I grew up in the St. Charles area, went to First Baptist Church of Harvester. There are at least 3 people here from that church. So it's nice because not only am I in a Baptist church, but a lot of times when I say, oh, as a Baptist, people are like, oh, I don't believe that. Well, they'll vouch for it. Thanks so much for the kind words, Jim. It wasn't one thing. There wasn't anything bad that happened. I felt when I was in our youth group, as did many of the kids in our youth group, that God
What's up, Nimina? Oh, what am I doing?
Some of my other friends.
What's up, Nimina? Welcome back, brother. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a nice Tuesday yesterday. I don't know. When was the last time we streamed? It feels like it was a month ago, but it must have been just on Monday, right? Why did that feel so long ago? Oh, yeah, because yesterday was the Feast of the Transfiguration. Busy day. Fun day. Beautiful day. Now we're watching this. I don't even know why we're watching this. But, hey, because I thought it'd be funny. Matt Dillahunty confronted by members of his old church. His answer is beautiful. And I just have a feeling it's not beautiful, but I don't want to... Well, oh, Lord, forgive me.
Felt a similar calling. It worked out to varying degrees depending, on who you're talking about. I didn't want to do that. I was terrified of public speaking, which is incredibly ironic now. And I had a girlfriend. I wanted to get married. I decided I was going to go join the Navy. And I did that for a little over 8 years. I got out of the Navy. I moved to Austin. I worked for Dell. I was focused primarily on my career and building a life. And around 2000, 2001, I lost my job that I had worked really hard at and should have been promoted instead of losing that job. And at the time, I said, oh, wow, this is God punishing me for running away from a calling to ministry. And so I said, okay, I give up. If that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. And I spent a little over 18 months or so in pretty serious prayer and study, and I went to my uncle who was a medical missionary, and I went to a number of pastor friends of mine. And at the time, my roommate was an atheist. We'd never had any conversations about this. It's just the way it was. I believed, he didn't. We didn't talk about it because, hey, we're best friends. Why would we screw that up, by me preaching and stuff? But when I decided that I was going to actually get serious about 1 Peter 3:15 and do what
I'm sure they talk about 1 Peter 3:15 in the debate, but I'm not particularly interested in watching the debate. Yeah, I think it does look like it's a debate about the historic evidence for the resurrection. How certain do you think the belief in the resurrection is supposed to be? Like, from a Christian perspective? 100%. I mean, I think it was... I can't remember who exactly said this. I think it's kind of a theme that comes up throughout all of history, like Christian Western thought. And I think it might even be in the scripture. I'll find it. I think it is in the scripture, actually. But it's the idea is that if the resurrection didn't happen, then this whole thing is, if this resurrection didn't actually physically happen, then this whole thing is worthless. the Bible, the teachings, everything. And it kind of goes along with that Lord, liar, lunatic kind of idea. So, if Jesus is preaching and he's saying, I am God, I am the Son of God, all this stuff, and he isn't, well, then that's extremely problematic, right? Anyway, all that to say, I think your belief in the resurrection, not that you can't have, like, doubts or, like, fleeting doubts, and there's a prayer, it's like, Lord Jesus Christ, help my unbelief, right? I mean, I think there's an acknowledgement that in any given moment, even the most serious Christian can have, like, these sort of intellectual doubts. I know I've had them, and so I pray for forgiveness for that. But, like, I mean, even, and it's you and me, Numenon, so you know the full context of this. I'm not trying to blaspheme our Lord Jesus Christ, but even on the cross, he said, why have you forsaken me, right? So even Jesus at least portrays this human emotion of having doubt, but the way he does it is this transcendent way where it's a reference to, a psalm, and it's an acknowledgement of the fulfillment of the final sacrifice and all the rest. But so, I mean, I don't think it's impossible or whatever. You shouldn't you shouldn't put your mind into some kind of vice grip or something where it can never feel doubt. Maybe, I'm not sure, but in general, or over the course of your whole faith, or as a general rule, I mean, I think your belief in the resurrection has to be like 100%. Otherwise, it means nothing. We'll find that verse too. Okay, so he said 1 Peter 3:15. This is one of the things that, and who is he who will harm you if you become followers of what is good? But even if you should suffer for righteousness' sake, you are blessed. And do not be afraid of their threats, nor be troubled. But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and always be ready to give a defense to everyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that when they defame you as evildoers, those who revile your good conduct in Christ may be ashamed. For it is better, if it is the will of God, to suffer for doing good than for doing evil. Totally agree. Because these evidential approaches tend to be very probabilistic and uncertain. Like, I wouldn't bet $5 on a historical event. It seems like the resurrection is very uncertain based on these evidential arguments. I mean... so your previous point, I think doubt is actually good, and it's generally how I find out which of my beliefs are defensible, right? Because it makes you actually question those. But you are very harsh on the evidence. You don't see any value in the evidential arguments from chatting previously. But I think Christ would have an issue with doubting when you have sufficient evidence and proof. I mean, the question is, like, does anybody really believe anything based off of evidence? Like, I don't think that's how people believe stuff. But I know, like, people will say they do. But then you present them, like, the counter evidence, and they either have to change their belief, which is very rare, or more often just, like, reject it and be like, well, there must be some counter evidence, or that must be wrong, or my evidence must be better. So to your point, like, I get why you don't like the evidential arguments, because it seems like the philosophical arguments are so much stronger. But I think the evidential arguments are important for people, and I think given the fact that I have 100% belief and faith that the resurrection did happen, I think you would expect to see evidence of that event having actually happened. And I think we do see evidence of that event having actually happened. So I think you might be a little harsh on the evidential arguments. Because a lot of people, I mean, first of all, a lot of people are not philosophically minded at all. And so tag or whatever is just not even going to help. Right, it's not even gonna work. They're too slow, boy. But then No, I see some value in evidential arguments, but I feel like they would lead to very weak beliefs at best. I think the best way to choose a belief system is on how well they make sense of your experience and how well your beliefs fit together. Yeah, but see, like most people don't even have that conception of their beliefs. They have like no way of evaluating whether their beliefs fit together. And actually, I mean, I don't even know if I'm qualified to make the the statement or whatever that any beliefs fit together. I know we run tag all the time, so that seems crazy, but like I'm not that good at tag. I don't really understand it all the way. I can't make every argument for it. So by that logic, even I couldn't really confirm without a doubt that my beliefs fit together. So I think what actually happens is that there's a relationship, and you have a relationship with God, and that is what starts to transform your heart and your mind to believe the right things. Because at the end of the day, it's like, how many people actually are qualified to like determine that their beliefs are all coherent together? Like, not really. Not that many, clearly. Because there's so many atheists, and their beliefs are completely just contradictory, self-refuting, right? So, yeah, clearly that's not a good way for most people to come to believe in something. I think what it really takes is like, you believe certain things in your mind, and you believe certain things in your heart. You believe deeper things in your heart. So like atheism, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever, New Age, alien bullshit. A lot of that is something you just believe in your heart, and then you conform your logic around that. Right. Let's find. It does feel cheesy to use ChatGPT to do this, but it really is so effective. And then I'm going to try to remember. And then what I'm going to do is, this is what I'm going to do. Google Drive. Are you guys going to see my password? All right. Bible. Let's do Control B. Bible passages. Or should I say quotations? Let's make that like 18, and let's make it Times New Roman, because I hate Times New Roman is OG. Times New Roman is where it's at. If you're not using Times New Roman, I don't know what to tell you. You're probably a I don't know. You're probably an agnostic. I'm kidding. Okay. Then what we do is we use ChatGPT to look up the vague thing that I know. Is there a passage in the New Testament where the author says what the faith would mean if Jesus had not resurrected? Okay. Perfect. Okay, 1 Corinthians 15:14. So, we'll go to 1 Corinthians 15. Here we go. So, then what we'll do, we'll start to construct headings, right? So we'll go on the resurrection. First Corinthians 14 through 18. And we'll write it ourselves so we start to get this in our head, right? Okay, so, and if Christ is now risen, then our preaching is empty, and your faith is also empty. So that'll probably suffice for the purposes of that. And that's good. And then I'll start to reference a list that I'm creating myself instead of ChatGPT. And then I'll start to remember. Wait, this is 1 Corinthians 15, 14. Nice. 15:14. And if Christ is now risen, then our preaching is empty, and your faith is also empty. 1 Corinthians 15:14. Memorize mode. Activate. Brain blast. Jimmy Neutron. Let's do it. Okay, yeah, I get your perspective. I don't think getting rid of evidentialism is a good thing, but I do think it favors skepticism. For example, history is usually about extrapolating from things like the word choice of the authors, which in my opinion seems like a very low probability of being true. Well, I don't think you really have to extrapolate. Well, that's what, I mean, atheists do say that. That is like their defense, I guess. They're like, what, you believe a interpreted translation of a translation of a blah, 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 blah. Like, what, just because Paul said it, it's true? And it's like, well, no, not really. How about, this is actually the crazy thing that Deconstruction Zone did. When I was like, oh, well, one of the reasons I believe in the resurrection is because of the number of eyewitnesses, disciples, apostles, students of apostles, who were martyred for their faith and refused to simply say that Christ was not God or risen or king or whatever, and then were killed in horrible, excruciating deaths, burned at the stake, eaten by lions, and the rest of it. And Deconstruction Zone said, well, actually, if you read Tertullian, it becomes clear that Christians were not martyred for being Christians. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe he said that. And I asked him for a source, and he said Tertullian. And I was like, so does Tertullian say that it's cool to be Christian in the 2nd century? And we didn't really get a clear answer on that. So maybe we should do some. No, this is a little more egregious. This is pretty egregious. But I'm just gonna say, give me every Tertullian quote that mentions Christians. How about that? So then, for example, the whole dating of Mark comes down to the words, let the reader understand before talking about the temple. Like, to me, it seems like the author could have just felt like saying that. No, I get that. I do understand. Wait, literally? Is he kidding, dude? Is this how dishonest Deconstruction Zone is? I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I really was. And the more research I do, the more egregious this seems. Okay, so Apologeticus, one of Tertullian's most famous works addressed to Roman authorities defending the Christians from persecution. So what is he defending them from if they're not being persecuted? So let's read Apologeticus PDF. Like, let's just read it. This is crazy that he quoted Tertullian to say that Christians weren't persecuted in the 2nd century. Excuse me? Excuse me? So this is where he. Okay, I think this is an introduction by someone much later. On the Latinity of the African fathers. What is this? Is this what I think it is? What? Publication date 1850. What is going on here? Oh, this is still the introduction. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can find Tertullian in the flesh saying Christians. Okay, here we go. And it's in Latin. Nothing's ever easy. Is this the translation on the side here? Oh my goodness. We can't read this. It's in Latin. What the? English. How about that? Okay. For example, the whole dating of Mark. Okay, words matter. Welcome, words matter. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. What do you call the Inquisition? Catholic ain't Christian. He's talking out of his Vaticanus. True that. Deconstruction Zone isn't Catholic though. He's like a kind of a low IQ atheist. I don't want to say low IQ. That's mean. But he is a slow boy. Or at the very best, he's a bit of a slow boy. And at the very worst, he's deliberately misleading when he debates Christians, which is what we're showing here. Because I'm trying to find the Tertullian project. This will work, right? Like literally, so you guys probably didn't see. Should I pull up the Let me pull up the actual video. I'm not going to be able to find it on his channel, unfortunately, where he has like his face and stuff. But I think I'm going to be able to find it on mine. I just have to remember which one it is. It's just going to be tough. I'm pretty sure it's this.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And the details in order to fit the genre of what he's actually writing, which obviously it starts with the word and the flesh and all these sort of high spiritual concepts. I don't see any problem with reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John being, okay, these are a little more historical, and then reading John being, this is more symbolic. And I don't think that's even a logical contradiction.
Well, yeah, but when he gives you a time and he tells you he's crucified on a different day because...
Yeah, so he's obsessed with this time thing. I also think that's a false flag.
Okay, so that means 100% of God would have been...
Okay, then Jesus. Then he just explains that he doesn't understand the Trinity. Okay, same boat. That doesn't mean God isn't real just because we don't understand the Trinity.
Just to be like totally non-theological for a second, just the fullness, the ground, the core of what a thing is. Maybe the ontological core of what something is. I don't know.
So it's the that was a lie.
No, that's not a lie because the Father gave to Jesus everything that the Father has. So him saying that doesn't mean he doesn't know it.
But then he would know it.
Yeah, he does know it.
But he said he didn't know it.
Saying that doesn't mean he doesn't know it.
The nature of man, especially he shall execute.
I'm trying to find this part where he says that Christians were not persecuted in the first century, and then he quotes Tertullian. It's like insane. It's an absolute insanity.
That they were written by the people who we believe wrote them. I don't think that actually makes them true. And one of the reasons why that is the case is because they say things that are demonstrably untrue.
Okay, so, and a bunch of these low probability extrapolations just seem to add up to any conclusion being uncertain and extremely uncertain compared to non-historical beliefs. Well, so Numenon, if all you're saying is I don't believe history in general, which is what you're saying, then yeah, fair enough. But some people do believe history in general, right? So, you know, that's why those arguments, like, I get that the evidentialist arguments don't work on you, but a lot of people do actually have faith that history happened and happened relatively the way that we understand it to. So, but then also another evidentialist piece of, or another piece of evidence for the resurrection is a physical, well, there's a few, but like a physical object that we still have that you can go and look at and like do scientific experiments on, and that is the Shroud of Turin. So, you know, if that's evidence, if that ain't evidence, I don't know what is, really. I'm not saying it's infallible. I'm not saying like you must believe in the Shroud of Turin to be a Christian at all. But until that can be even remotely explained as a forgery, I think that's a strong evidence that I think a lot of people are going to take. And that's not just based on what people say. That's like something that's completely visual and like tactile, you know? Words matter. 30 Christians per day are being executed in West Africa still. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He was saying, well, because my point was like, okay, the martyrs in the early church refused to say that Jesus wasn't God, and they knew him. And when they were threatened with death, they still refused to say it. So you're only left with a couple options at that point. Either they knew that they were lying, which makes almost no sense at all, and they still went to their deaths without just saying, sorry, I'm lying. Sorry, I'm lying. Or they actually believed that he had risen from the dead and that he was God. And, well, why would eyewitnesses actually believe those things? Probably because they saw them, right? Yeah, I'd be rejecting history. I might also be too stubborn on this, but I'm still figuring things out. No, that's fair. That's fair. And I get that the philosophical arguments just speak to you more. I swear we're not doing narcissism. This isn't Narcissist Wednesday, where I just watch my own video. I'm trying to find a specific quote by...
He did all these things.
Okay,
So
can
for
you show
instance-
me
yeah,
in the New
sure.
Testament where he was ever the king on the throne?
It becomes the Christian church, the Orthodox church,
It
and,
certainly does not.
does live in safety.
No, I know you believe that, but that certainly isn't the case,
That's
because I
certainly
can
not.
show you exactly in the Old Testament where it talks about the New Jerusalem, and it's not a spiritual place; it's a physical location. The whole second half of Ezekiel.
So is he Jewish or is he an atheist? Or is he a literalist Zionist, like evangelical? This isn't all about like just post hoc like shitting on Deconstruction Zone. I'm gonna bring this stuff to his face at some point, but I just want to show how ludicrous and dishonest this Tertullian thing is.
I'm well, man. I'm well. Nice stream here. It's such a cool setup you got. I appreciate you having me on.
And thanks, Rambling. Rambling, are you at least 18, and are you a believer?
I am over 18, and I'm a Christian man. Yeah.
Cool. And what would be the
Theme of the show, or
God?
is my God? And so, is it your view that Jesus Christ himself, as the person, Jesus, Yeshua, in the year zero, is an imaginary figure, or?
No, in the year right now.
I mean, like, wait, so is anybody in the past is imaginary, like Alexander the Great, or like Julius Caesar, any historical figures?
They're all dead at this moment. They no longer exist.
Oh, I agree. So I do believe Jesus died. Obviously, I believe he resurrected. And so the evidence that I would point to for that is, one, as long as we can both agree that Jesus is a historical figure, that's a good starting point. Do you agree that he's at least a historical figure, if not divine?
I think he was a historical figure. Obviously, I would
Okay.
disagree that he's divine.
Of course. Yeah, no, I understand that. Thank you. Okay, so I also believe it's a historical fact that he was crucified in about the year 30, 33 AD. Is that fair?
I think it was crucified. You got a little bit of disagreement from the Jews. The Jews say that he was stoned and then hung up on the tree, but whether he was stoned and then hung up or just hung up, I think it still ends in the result of him being hung up.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So then,
I mean, kind of crazy. Whatever. I guess he argues as if he's like a Talmudic Jew, essentially. Anyway, okay.
and I understand that the place that you're going to disagree is the actual resurrection itself, of course. But I'm going to also, I see the resurrection as a historical fact evidenced by the Testament and the persecution of the early martyrs as a major thing. But also, maybe more simply, the actual thrust of Christianity into history, into the whole world after his death. In other words, if there were nothing valuable or true in his preaching, we would have no reason for people to actually adopt the teaching so aggressively. Does that make any
Well,
sense?
the same could be said about Muhammad and Mormonism and just about any other religion. So the fact that it can provide benefits to the people who believe it isn't actually evidence that it's true.
No, because it doesn't provide benefits. That's the actual argument. So in Muhammad,
Oh,
for
well, I agree.
Islam-
Christianity doesn't have any benefits.
No, Christianity has benefits, but in the early church, it did not provide you any benefit. In fact, it meant your death and persecution to actually be a Christian.
Oh,
or be
certainly
open.
not.
Okay, this is it. Okay, so I'm making a point. Maybe I'm not doing the best job in the world. Maybe I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, right? I don't have like a structured thing. I'm just kind of going with it. But this is where it gets crazy. And also, by the way, his little comment, well, then actually you should be a Mormon or a Muslim because it's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing at all. Okay. Mormonism is just like a cult, right? And it's not at all as big or as forceful or as impactful as Christianity has been. And then Islam, the way it spread is actually the way the Roman system spread, by violence and warfare, right? And slavery. So that it's just a totally false analogy. But okay, so then I say, oh no, because okay, so say his argument was somehow like, oh well, if it's just because it gives you benefits, which isn't even what I said, but whatever. He goes, oh well, if any religion that gives you benefits is true, then these things would be true. I go, no, because not only was it not a benefit to be a Christian in the first century, it meant that you would be likely executed in a really gruesome and horrific manner. This is his response.
Not true.
Oh, how do you come to that?
Because we have the writings of people outside of the church and even inside of the church from the early days. And the idea that just being a Christian meant that you were going to die is insanely false. There were incredibly popular Christians even in the early church, even popular outspoken
Look, I'm laughing because I don't have the source yet, but I just know this is ridiculous.
critics like Celsus and Julian.
Okay. Wait, so your claim is historically Christians were not persecuted by the Romans between the years, say, 50 and 300?
No, my claim is that just being a Christian doesn't mean you're going to be persecuted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I mean being openly a Christian, actually confessing your faith when forced to.
Yeah,
Well,
being an open Christian doesn't mean that you're going to be persecuted.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've never heard this interpretation of history. Is there a book I could read about that, or any sort of source I could find? Because I'm
you
curious,
can read.
I'm genuine.
You can read like any of the ancient sources. You can read Pliny. You can read the two I just named. Julian's not as early, but Celsus is certainly early. Celsus was already being refuted by Origen in 180. So
so he's being refuted by Origen in 180. Okay, all right. Well, we'll look at Celsus as well.
that's a pretty early source.
And I'm sorry, just for clarity, are they saying like is their claim in those early sources, Julian and was it Celsus or Celtus?
Yeah.
Is their claim that Christianity is not being persecuted, or they just don't mention that it's being persecuted? This is my ignorance. I'm just wondering.
Their claim is typically that Christianity is not true, and they even make the opposing claims, namely that Christians are persecuting others.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, Christians are persecuting others. Right. So those guys are real reliable narrators. Anyway, let's go to an actual source, and we will look. We can look up. We'll look up Celsus. Celsus, I guess that would be his name. Ancient historian. Celsus, right? The true word survives exclusively via quotations in Contra Celsum. Lol. I love Origen. I love the church fathers. They're so badass. Written in 248 by Origen of Alexandria, the true word is the earliest known comprehensive criticism of Christianity and Judaism. Okay, so let's read Tertullian. Christians are persecuted in ignorance because they are not allowed to defend themselves. As long as they can be called Christians, they can be executed. I mean, it's the first sentence. Real criminals are allowed to deny their offenses, defend themselves, and are tortured to get them to confess. By contrast, the Christians are not allowed to demand evidence of any crimes they are condemned for and are tortured to make them stop confessing. Christians are denied any chance to vindicate themselves, nor do the magistrates try to find any evidence of the crime. The name of Christian is enough. Yet you know that particular Christians are moral and upright people, but you don't connect the two events. It has even happened that a wanton life has become chaste on becoming a Christian. A useless slave has become faithful. Apparently, their crimes only matter once they have abandoned them. But it's not enough to just deny the charges against the Christians. Let's have a look at the unbelievers and see how they stack up on the same charges. If to be a Christian is to take part in baby eating and ritual incest, why does no one try to prove those charges? So this is a defense of Christians, obviously. I don't exactly know the history of Tertullian. But what he's relaying is this idea that Christians are constantly being persecuted and killed for things they didn't even do. Just having the name of Christian is enough. So funny. And then I guess he forbids, or he speaks out against abortion, which is awesome. So funny, dude. I just can't believe that was his argument. I don't know how we got onto that. I do not know. Let's do something else. Let God be true and every man a liar. I'd rather stand with God and be judged by the world than stand with the world and be judged by Jesus. Couldn't agree more. Words matter. Those words do matter. I also think people like DZ have issues when interpreting scripture. For example, Dan McClellan needs you to reject univocality to then argue against Christianity. Yeah, exactly. So he's rejecting the thing in question, de facto. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Look at this. What the? Wait. I'm sorry.
I'm sandwiched between the two generations. I'm helping to give caregiver responsibilities.
I think we absolutely have to do this.
And then my son is just out of college. So it's like, where can I put my money where it can grow a little bit faster? I found Wealthfront and let it work its magic. The cash account is more like, what will my dad need? And then the investment account is what I want.
How do I, why is it still playing? 30-second ad, unskippable. Yeah, I think the thing is they just use the historical critical lens, which is an atheistic lens. Is this a 3-minute ad? No, can't be. This could not be a 3-minute ad. Are you kidding? All right, I'm switching. That is crazy. All right, here we go.
Called the United States of America. Nobody in the United States. Stay mad. Oh, yeah, let me hear it. I love it. Yep.
Beta.
I love it. I love it.
Testing 1 2 testing. Testing 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Can you? Okay. Testing 1 2.
Beta.
If we can have everybody please take a seat. We're about to start in a few minutes. Can you get the people to take a seat?
This is great.
Hey, testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Can you guys hear me in the back?
It's
testing.
So next Tuesday is election day, and it's going to be amazing. So get ready for it.
It's going to be amazing.
All you potheads, roll up some extra joints. You're going to need them.
All you potheads.
You're going to need them. Are you for Joe Biden or the Great White Hope, Donald Trump?
I'm riding with Biden.
The Great White Hope.
Why?
Because he's going to do a way better job than Trump has.
Like what?
Like everything. Managing the coronavirus, foreign policy, domestic policy. What do you want to talk about?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Joe Biden or the Great White Hope, Donald Trump?
I'm voting for Donald Trump.
And why?
Because we need to use his economic plan to rebuild the 43rd district.
Really?
Absolutely.
And he's going to do that?
Really?
No, I'm going to use this plan to rebuild the
you're gonna
43rd
use his
district.
plan
He's not
to-
going to do it himself. I'm going to use this plan so we can rebuild our own communities. We need it really bad. We underserved. We have the worst education in the 43rd district in the United States. In the 43rd district, we need economic development. Jobs are leaving. We're 43% below the poverty level, so we need a lot of improvement.
How would Trump help that?
His policies will.
In what way?
Well, he has the Platinum Plan, which is the $500 billion that he wants to invest into the community. We're going to use that. We're going to rebuild our community, rebuild our education system. Criminal justice reform, we're going to get innocent men out of prison, and we're going to expunge records so we can get people back to work.
Okay, I mean this is gonna be boring. Let's see. There's a most replayed here. Let's do that. Black Lives Matter. Oh, this will be good.
As
You
well.
can
Absolutely
register on
right,
the side. You can register
You
from
can
something
register
that's not
any
an
business
organization.
name you want in any state you want. LLCs
So that
are state
means
recognized
it's
entities.
an organization.
Anything can be an organization you want it to be. I'm an organization. Like that
You
doesn't
are
mean
an
anything.
organization.
But when people talk about
So is
BLM,
BLM.
when people talk about BLM is a huge collection of tons of different people. You can't point to one guy running on a street with a
there's a
knife and say
budget.
that's BLM.
Yeah, you can actually. You actually can. CEO of BLM. It comes up instantly. There's a CEO. You can't point to one guy and be like, "That's BLM." Yeah, there's a CEO. Dummy. Yeah, of course. There's more people in it associated with it.
Right, there are other people, working with them.
Not
but
in all
there
these.
was
Some places, just some college kids
I
get together and they're
no,
like,
I've
"You want to have a
interviewed
little
them.
college?"
I interviewed them.
That's
They're a
great
bunch
that you
of
have.
fat black radical
That's
lesbians.
Fat black radical lesbians. They're fat black radical lesbians. I love him. We need way more sound clips. Wait, this could be a good time to farm sound clips from Jesse.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to characterize the entire movement and everybody that's out there rioting or protesting as being some fat, overprivileged black person.
No, I'm
That's
just talking
bullshit.
about the organizers.
Just BLM, not every
So
organization.
there's
just
tens of
BLM.
millions of people that were protesting over cities over the past like 8 months. These
They're
are all
joining
just
BLM. That's how they
Right.
raised $300 million for
Well,
your
how
guy.
do you join BLM?
You go to the website, just like he said, and
And
you
then just
and
fill
you
it
like
out.
an email list or
And then you
Are you
tell
seeing
them,
the
I'll
memo?
burn down this building.
That's what I'm saying.
Why you
I'm-
gonna-
I mean, you have to buy the T-shirts from somewhere, right? I think Destiny's got a point that there are some people unassociated with BLM, like in an official capacity, that were out at these protests and like waving their flags around and whatever. But you can't deny that it's an organized group who took tens of millions of dollars in donations and then bought mansions in Georgia suburbs with them. And completely enriched themselves. I mean, we just looked up the CEO. Why is there a CEO? I'm not saying every nonprofit shouldn't have a CEO, but there's just something dark and twisted about BLM.
No.
It's not. I mean, I know
So
organizations.
you don't know it's an organization?
No, it's not that I don't know. It's that I do not believe it's an organization. All it is just saying that Black Lives Matter.
Sometimes
What do you
it's
think about
hard
that,
to
Joe?
believe. The organization was created in 2013, and they've been around for a long time. They raised money, they organized protests. Now they're organizing riots because they got involved with Antifa and all these other organizations. I know because I've seen it. I went to Minneapolis after George Floyd died to protest against police brutality, and we saw the organization. We saw the people getting paid. We saw the trucks. We saw the cars. Even here in Los Angeles, we saw the same exact thing when they tried to burn down our police station on Imperial, and we chased them out of here. You know where they're from? Not L.A. They got paid to come out here.
If I were to have a BLM march right now, if I were to go outside, not
You
right
gotta
now.
go to the website and
I
you
don't
have to
go to the
register.
website though. If I were to say I'm going to have a Black Lives Matter march, I go on Facebook, I put together a group, and we all go out and do it. Is somebody going to sue me?
Yes.
No, they won't.
They're gonna
No,
say,
they
you know
won't.
what, we're gonna
No,
join
they'll
you.
kill
We're
him.
gonna pay
No,
you
they
to
can't sue.
join.
They'll
Also,
kill him. Jesse goes, they'll kill him.
Oh,
any
they
video,
will
if you
kill
watch- if
you.
No one's going to kill you.
White
Maybe
people are
Tyson,
not
you're-
allowed. No,
If
white
you
people
were
are
to
not
watch-
allowed to
if you
have
were to
a.
watch any of the 24 streams that we're running for all across all the cities in the U.S. for all these people, for all of the BLM and Antifa people protesting. Usually the BLM people were telling the Antifa people to am I allowed to swear here? To F off? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, to fuck off. If you look at like any of these videos, usually
many protests have you been to?
how many? I've watched a lot. I'm not going out there. I don't want to get sick.
So you didn't go. You just okay.
So you didn't go into one protest? Did you speak out about protesters all across the country?
I've been to a lot. I'm black.
Really?
I'm
Every
black.
single city across the country you were in seeing?
That's insufferable. All right, let's watch Destiny get wrecked. Destiny Andrew Wilson. This is a very interesting. Because Destiny, it's like he has this kind of skill of seeming like he's winning a debate. Kind of seeming like no matter what kind of hideous hot garbage is coming out of his mouth, he kind of has this like confidence, I guess. I don't know what you would call this. It's kind of like a Donald Trump-esque confidence, actually, that he's winning every debate he's a part of, even when he's getting wrecked. But this one, from the clips I saw, he couldn't even pretend that he was winning. And I know this is out of the realm of like theology and religion and stuff like that, but technically, Andrew Wilson he typically debates. Not typically, mostly it's political stuff, but I think he's Orthodox or he's some kind of Christian, so he debates using Christian arguments. And technically, Destiny is employed by the devil, so I think we should. I think it makes sense to watch this. Oh my god.
Oh, Destiny, can you define fascism?
I would say the two big points for fascism would be ultranationalism and authoritarianism.
Okay, what is authoritarianism?
I would say that authoritarianism is trying to centralize as much power in like a structural sense into one part of the government, and then in a broader sense it usually means undermining a bunch of liberal values that you would find like say in the
So then how is it that every part of the government which accrues more and more power to itself every single year aren't a bunch of fascists?
Because the government gaining power doesn't necessarily make it fascist. You could say there might be governmental overreach,
I'm
but
still
it's
not even sure what is fascist here, Destiny. What is fascist?
I said,
so Giovanni Gentili, we have definitions of what fascism is. We have third party as to how.
Let's see what the actual definition of Giovanni Gentili fascist definition, because I don't even know what it means technically to be fascist. It defined fascism as a philosophy that emphasizes the state as an absolute entity where individual interests are subordinate to the collective will of the nation. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it is a stretch to try to call Donald Trump a fascist. I mean, it seems like he's very self-interested, as an individualized interest. And it seems like he is not setting up a sort of like Orwellian nanny state. Actually, that kind of seems like what the other side wanted to do.
Out there right now who are fascist, they claim Trump is a populist. Can you tell me why they're wrong and why you're right that he's a fascist?
Well, I would have to know their exact reasons for why they reject Trump being a fascist, but I would say that Trump is a fascist because I think he's an ultranationalist and an authoritarian.
These are your claims.
I'm not
right?
claiming anything that those people said. I've given you my definition for fascist. I gave the two parts. I can explain them more if you want.
So let's start with ultra-authoritarian.
Why I said ultranationalist and authoritarian.
What is ultranationalism?
So I think ultranationalism is when you engage in a hardcore protectionist ideology that usually involves shutting yourself out from the rest of the world. That could be in forms of international affairs like military conflicts, and it could be in the forms of...
You mean like how Trump is having like constantly flying to Japan, having world leader Putin, Zelensky fly over here. You mean how Trump is quite literally involving himself in foreign wars, which technically, I mean, I know they're all proxy wars anyway, which we technically have no interest in. Is that the ultranationalism you're talking about? Just silly.
Ultra protectionist in terms of trade and shutting down things like immigration in order to protect your own native peoples. So, oftentimes there's a heavily racialized element, but it might not have to.
Also, what is the problem with that? Like, why would that make you a fascist? What if that's what the people wanted and voted for specifically? Like, that could make you a populist or a fascist, according to Destiny's definition here. Because it happened to be the case in our last election that the people wanted immigration to be reined in, curtailed, so to speak. So that's just silly. That has nothing to do with fascism.
Donald Trump, you're not saying has a heavy racialized element, are you?
I'm ambivalent. I don't really care that much. I think that he qualifies.
Do you care? Do you not care, or do you not know, or were you just making some weird, useless comment?
Satisfies the term without that, but
okay. So let's dive into this real quick. If you have a president who doesn't want to get involved in foreign affairs as far as wars go, and has some type of policies which benefit the United States over all of the nations, is he a fascist?
No.
Well, I'm still confused as to what makes Trump a fascist.
That's because I had two parts of that, and you missed the authoritarian one.
Yeah,
What you
okay.
described there before was just like protection.
But when you said authoritarian, what is he doing, which is accumulating all power to himself?
So he's trying to centralize power in the executive branch of the government, and specifically in the presidential part of the government, of the executive branch.
How?
How Donald Trump thinks that he should be able to unilaterally make decisions up and down all of the different departments and offices that exist in the executive branch.
Presidents use executive...
In the executive branch, he said. Like, literally, what is he talking about? He said, you have to watch Destiny in, like, quarter speed to actually understand what he's saying. But if you do pick up anything, it just is nonsense. So let's go back a little bit.
Centralizing all power in the executive branch of the government, and specifically in the presidential part of the government, of the executive branch.
How?
When you watch it in slow-mo, it actually is like it's quite funny. That is funny for most people, but Destiny especially.
Donald Trump thinks that he should be able to unilaterally make decisions up and down all of the different departments and offices that exist.
Unilaterally make decisions up and down all of the different offices that exist
In the executive branch.
in the executive branch. Isn't he literally the head of the executive branch? Isn't the president, like, isn't that their job by definition? So by Destiny's definition of fascism, every single president would be a fascist. Every single one. George Washington was a fascist. Abraham Lincoln was a fascist. Any president that's ever used executive orders, which, by the way, Obama used more than any president in history, is a fascist. So that's a very intelligent definition of fascism you've concocted there, Destiny. It's fucking crazy.
Presidents use executive orders all the time.
That's not what an executive order is.
Presidents unilaterally make decisions all the time.
No, they don't?
Yes, they do.
No,
they
they
do.
don't.
They use executive orders all the time.
An executive order doesn't mean that you are taking power away from the departments and offices.
Wait. So first he goes, no, they don't. And then he realizes how stupid that is. Or maybe he doesn't realize it. And then he just completely switches to, well, executive order doesn't mean you're taking power away. It's like, okay, well then, what is Trump doing to take power away?
That have been created.
Right, so where's the fascism here?
Would you like me to give you specific
Yes,
examples?
give me the specific example.
Sure. So when Donald Trump didn't like the answer that he was getting from his attorney general because he was trying to direct the Department of Justice to do investigations or to fabricate claims, that would be an example of trying to centralize power just to the president, because he's undermining his own department that's been created for him, that's supposed to have some level of independence, that's tasked with doing investigations.
I'm sorry, the attorney general is now separate from the executive branch? The attorney general works for the executive branch. The attorney general is appointed by the president. Quite literally, the president is the boss of the attorney general. So if there needs to be a third party like investigation or something like that, that's done by Congress. That's not done by the attorney general. It's crazy, man. Yeah, it is like the quicker I speak, the better I debate. That's his whole like ethos.
Let me ask you a question. Is the President of the United States the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the United States?
I believe so.
You believe so?
Unless something's changed.
Do they have
Yeah.
do they have control of the entire military apparatus?
Why can't you just say yes, bro? You know they are.
Essentially, as the Commander-in-Chief?
The Commander-in-Chief, yes.
Yeah. Is that fascist?
No.
So they have unilateral, basically almost unilateral control by your own metrics of the most mighty military on planet Earth. That's not accumulating enough power, centralized control to one person. It's the fact that he tried to slay some electors. Really?
So the president being the commander-in-chief is specifically laid out in the Constitution. That's an authority granted to him. I don't know what's fascist.
Because according to your definition, that's what's fascist about it. That's why your definition is retarded, Destiny. That's why your whole point makes no sense, that Donald Trump is a fascist. If Donald Trump is a fascist, according to Destiny, every president in history has been a fascist, which is ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
Well, because you said it's ultra power. It's this idea of
I
having,
didn't say
of
anything
having
about
central
the
power.
military.
If you have the central power,
I didn't ever bring that up for him, but
if you have the central power
yeah.
of the most mighty military on planet Earth and the codes to the largest nuclear armament on planet Earth, you already have all of the central power, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
How do the nuclear codes help you
Yeah.
direct your Department of Justice?
Okay, I'm sorry.
What?
Is he the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces? Which
Are
he
you
has
just
control
arguing that he's the commander? I already agree with
No,
you. I don't know why you
no,
keep arguing.
what I'm
this.
arguing to you is
I'm
that
asking you,
it
how does the
sounds to
commander-in-chief
me-
use the
you don't get to
military
ask
to
me.
make?
It's your
Well, I
claim.
can
I'm
ask. I can ask
asking
whatever you
you
want.
about
yeah.
your claim,
So
and your claim is
how does that make
he's
him
a
control the
fascist.
DOJ? How does the military help him control the
So
DOJ?
Well, do you really need the answer to that, Destiny? Is that actually your question? How does having control of the entire military help him control the DOJ? Well, obviously, if he wanted to, he could march into the DOJ with a military and do whatever he wanted, right? Now, I'm not saying that would happen in practice, but that's like the power he wields. So there's that. But other than that, like how your definition of fascism was centralizing power to yourself. Andrew Wilson's point is he already has all the power you could possibly imagine. So your definition of fascism is bad and wrong. And then now Destiny's like, well, how does that help him control the DOJ? What? Am I losing it? Or is that just a crazy non sequitur? I don't understand.
That is the most powerful position I can think of for you to be in, period. How could
That's
you
a powerful
accumulate-
position.
What
That's a
more,
powerful.
What more accumulation of power would you want for a fascist dictator?
Gotcha. Okay, so that's powerful in that you controlled the military. That's it. That's just control of the military.
Oh, that's it. You know, and the nukes and the nuclear codes and the weapons. You know, the strongest military in the world by a factor of like 100 times or whatever. You know, but that's it. But that's all it is. He shouldn't be able to. He shouldn't be able to make executive orders that affect other offices in the executive branch. Freaking Destiny. I'm actually curious as to what headspace debaters are in. Like, are debaters just trying to rationalize their position as fast as possible? Yeah, I think it depends. That's why I don't like debating. That's why I don't think debating is like fun, interesting. It's not my interest. Although I know I do it a lot, right? I can tell you from my point of view when I'm debating Infamous, it's usually there's some position that is an attack on my worldview, right? And I'm defending my worldview. And I have the benefit of having a worldview that actually is coherent, right? So most of the time I'm trying to point out how incoherent the other person's worldview is. That's my rationale when debating. But if you're Destiny, like if you have the wrong position, if your position is just kind of cringe and fringe and just ultimately retarded, I'm not sure what the point of debating is. I think it's to sound smart, maybe. Well, it's the same thing. It's to defend your worldview. But if you can't use the truth to defend your worldview or like common sense, then you end up having to do a lot of other stuff. You have to do like diversion tactics. You kind of become like, it kind of becomes like a game of Battlefield, or is that what that's called? Not Battlefield. What's you sunk my battleship. It's like a game of like trying to sink the other guy's battleship, and figuring out where the weak points are or something like that. During debates, I kind of just assume my belief is true no matter what, and then just focus on what justifications I can give to support that. It feels dishonest sometimes. Yeah, I think debate is almost always somewhat dishonest. Discussion is a little bit better. That's why I changed this thing to, it used to be prove me wrong, and then I realized, well, no one's ever going to be able to do that. And I'm not going to be able to do that to them either. And then it became open debate, and then I was like, wait, now I'm just getting, maybe that's more like, maybe I get more like traction that way when it was like open debate, but not really, because it's been open discussion for a long time now, and we had a lot of we had a good viewership on the last stream. So now it's open discussion. It's like, let's have a discussion. It can be heated. It can be, we can disagree with each other. We can even have this kind of like back and forth like a debate. But if it's in the framework of a discussion, it's just something where we can both be open-minded and no one feels like they have to win, right? I'm not trying to put anyone in a position where they have to win or where I'm trying to win. I don't even have the pretension that I could win. I don't even think I could win against anybody. I just like to talk and watch videos and hang out with you guys. That's pretty much the whole point of this. But Andrew Wilson likes to win. And that can come off as annoying, but in this case, and in a lot of cases, he actually is right. So if you're like a debate guy and you're actually right, I bet that's pretty fun. I bet that can be pretty fun. Destiny is a debate guy, and he's pretty much wrong on every single metric you could possibly imagine, except for maybe like which furry porn is the most popular. He probably has like a pretty good sense on that. Or like how devastating is it to a relationship to be polyamorous? I bet Destiny has a pretty unique insight on that. Yeah, debates are a fun blood sport. They're kind of fun to watch. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a gladiator. It's like we're at the Coliseum. And I enjoy it because you got one guy, like these two are equally impassioned and equally like debate bro types. And one is very hateable. Well, they're both actually somewhat hateable. Like I'm not gonna say hateable. They're both quite unlikable in terms of like just gruffness and sort of like the way they kind of assert their will. But Andrew Wilson's right about the things he's asserting his will on. So that actually transmutes into a kind of likability in my book, at least. And it's more like masculine. And then Destiny is always wrong. And it's extremely, it's it's beyond feminine. It's like femboy, right? It's kind of like, I don't even know what it is. So that makes him even more unlikable. So this becomes this is like that final scene in Gladiator when he has to kill the Emperor. Destiny is the Emperor in Gladiator, the fucking Joaquin Phoenix. Great movie.
FBI coming to your house to arrest you for the DOJ filing charges
send the
against
military
you.
to do
the EPA.
it.
No, the president doesn't do that.
He
I don't know
could.
if no, I don't believe that he can. I don't believe
unilateral-
you can.
I don't believe he can. Even though he's the commander-in-chief of the military, I don't believe he can. Therefore, I win. What?
I think that you can deploy the military to arbitrarily arrest U.S. citizens.
Why couldn't he? You'd have to give a reason that he couldn't do that as the commander-in-chief of the military. Just because, other than Destiny doesn't believe he can. What helps me with getting better at debates is to get better at philosophy, and the way I do that is to try and prove a position regardless of what I need to reject or affirm. To do so, I just try to do it for my opponent's position as well, so I can steel man their position. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'd be wary of getting too good at debate. There's a way where you can especially when it comes to matters of like faith, because you can, and I've experienced this, like you can over intellectualize your own worldview and your own faith to an extent where you don't believe it in your heart anymore, because you spend more time engaging with the counter arguments in your head that they almost like get traction in your head. So I'd just be wary. But I think that's a good way to practice debating in general. That's why, like, sometimes I wonder, like, with Andrew Wilson and stuff, although I have never mind. I'm not even going to say it. There's nothing I could even say about that.
So you talk about misinformation, but you've given us a ton of misinformation right now. You said, seems like nobody...
Okay, so yeah, this is Destiny's, like, second position that he's now defending. The MAGA movement would not exist without massive amounts of disinformation. The most, like, streamer thoughtless femboy kind of argument. Like, this is so funny that this is what political arguments are now. Massive amounts of disinformation. Okay. Yeah, I do find it hard to experience life, love, and God, especially God, when you're stuck in debate mode. So much of life is about what comes from your heart, and so much of faith is what you believe in your heart. And debate mode is all about your brain and your mind and stuff, which has its place, right? We're commanded to give reasons for our faith. Wait, let's write that down, because that's a great... that was 1 Peter 4. What was that? 1 Peter... maybe it was not 1 Peter 4. Actually, wasn't it in our chat? Didn't someone put it in our chat? Oh, 1 Peter 3:15. That's what it was. Yeah, this is it. So we're making a big doc right now. Okay. Let's call it on faith and reason. 1 Peter 3:15. And 1 Peter 3:15. But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts. Sanctify the Lord God in your hearts. And always be ready, I want to say, to give a reason. Be ready to give a defense to everyone who asks you. Be ready to give a defense to everyone who asks you. Oh, reason for the hope that is in you. For the hope that is in you with, I think it was meekness and fear. With meekness and fear. What a beautiful quote. And I quote that one all the time, so it's about time I remember it. Yeah, it's hard to. I feel like that claim Destiny's defending would be go for all politics and like life in general, right? Like, what is misinformation? You have to kind of define that. We talking about debaters? Well, yes, we are indeed, Infamous. Welcome, Infamous. I think I got into philosophy because of apologetics, and I eventually started to feel like I could honor God by doing philosophy well, as it's how I seek out truth. Well, I like that. I enjoy that. I think God loves truth. Well, obviously he does. And philosophy. And even debate, right? It has its place. So that's great. That's great. Just don't get stuck up there. Like, don't get stuck up in your head, you know? Otherwise you turn into Destiny. Look at him. Calculating. How do I destroy Andrew Wilson? Okay.
MAGA even wants to talk about any of the issues of Donald Trump. Had multiple debaters come up, talk to you about multiple economic policies, compare and contrast them with Kamala, gave you great reason.
I don't think I heard any economic policy from Trump when he was in 4 years.
Okay,
What were
okay.
his economic
No,
policies?
no, back up. Now you're switching the claim. So what you just claimed is I don't hear MAGA people talk about this at all.
I don't think I heard any.
That's
policies
what
that were
you
brought up.
said,
Yeah.
and yes, they did. They
What were
brought
they?
up the capital gains policies. They also brought
What were the
up
capital
they
gains
also brought up
policies?
tariffs. They brought up the tariff policies. They brought up multiple economic policies. Total misinfo.
Okay.
Total misinfo for you to say they didn't. They absolutely did. Are you disputing that nobody here brought up any policies of Donald?
I think that when you're talking policies from somebody, if the only thing you have are tariffs, it's not really a strong policy foundation.
I'm
to support
sorry.
somebody.
Is that not a policy? Yeah, nothing is worse than becoming like Destiny. I completely agree. Infamous says, oh God, this guy. And I'm not sure which one he's talking about, but it could easily apply to both. And we don't worry, Infamous. We've already gotten into how these guys, this is kind of like, these two are kind of like the same. Well, not this. I don't want to say they're the same. They're kind of like the perfect duality of debate, right? Where it goes all the way around and almost meets each other on the other side, right? Although it just so happens that Andrew Wilson is usually has at least a common sense position or something logically defensible, and Destiny is just kind of like puking garbage out of his mouth all the time. But they have the same like, yeah, one is way worse. I completely agree with you, Destiny. They have the same like aggressive, like assertive energy, which is I'm warning people in my chat not to become like this. Like that we're watching this as like a gladiator blood sport, right? We're not watching this to like learn. I would actually warn anybody away from debating in general pretty much, but the horseshoe theory of debates. Yeah, this is a horseshoe where they come around and meet on the end. And maybe it's just because I reside somewhere like, well, it's kind of hard to. Let's bring back our own. We have not been utilizing paint nearly enough. I have to say, we need to get back to our paint days. Kind of brushing my. Kind of sucks. Kind of brushing my. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so if this is the horseshoe, I get that's also like a Greek letter, and destiny is like, well, let's make him. I actually forget which color the sides are, but and destiny is over here, and Andrew Wilson's like over here. Then I'm probably like, and we're talking like both political and social and stuff like that. I'm probably like here. And Infamous is probably like here. So that's why Infamous thinks like, oh, Andrew Wilson's the worst, and I think Destiny's the worst, and all of us are equally wrong all the time, right? That's something we should One of them is a lot more like Andrew Tate. Well, yeah, I would say Destiny is a lot more like Andrew Tate. He's got like a completely, well, yeah, we can get into, I'll get into the Discord, why not? Yeah, hop on Infamous. I'm willing to defend. Destiny is more like Andrew Tate than Andrew Wilson, 100%. Wilson often says that Destiny is the leftist downgrade of himself. Yeah, I completely agree. Oh yeah, horseshoes do get closer to the point that the ends meet. You're right. I should have illustrated that better. Yo, what's up? I love this new. There's a lot I don't like about Windows 11, but new paint is pretty good. Okay. So I'm willing to defend a pretty crazy claim. I think Destiny is more like Andrew Tate than Andrew Wilson is like Andrew Tate.
In what way?
In terms of, well, the only thing I know about Andrew Tate are like his views about women. And so Destiny is more like Andrew Tate in that regard than Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson has like...
He stands for much more rights than Andrew Wilson does.
What's that?
He stands for much more rights for the rights of women than Andrew does.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually true, but... Well, maybe it is, but...
Also, his name's Andrew, so I already start with a good
I knew you were going to bring that up. Yeah, but I don't really care what people like profess or talk about. It's more like what they actually do. So Destiny...
What action has he taken that makes it so that he's anyway like a human trafficker?
I don't think he's like a human trafficker. I'm saying he's more like Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate doesn't believe in like the value of a relationship.
Do you not think that Andrew Tate is a human trafficker?
No, I think he is a human trafficker. I'm saying that's not why I think Destiny is like Andrew Tate. And in a way, Destiny is even more of a human trafficker than Andrew Wilson because he... well... This is a joke.
Andrew Wilson doesn't believe in a lot of the rights that women have currently. He's on record saying he doesn't even think that it is necessarily a good idea for women to vote.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that. But the reason Andrew Wilson doesn't think it's a good thing for women to vote is because he has a traditional view of relationships where there's a head of a house and then with the consent of his wife and his family makes the vote for the family, right? Destiny believes that you should be in these crazy poly relationships and have sex with a bunch of different people and whatever.
He doesn't think you should be. He just wants to.
Yeah, fine. So
he doesn't see anything wrong.
Andrew Tate has a family who, at least I can't make this claim for them, but ostensibly is like stable and loves him, and he's been married for X amount of years and has kids and whatever. Which is the opposite of Andrew Tate in terms of like how he treats women and sees women as being worthy of being like his wife, right? Whereas Destiny is much more like Andrew Tate in the respect that he doesn't respect any woman enough to actually marry them and make them his wife and stay loyal to them.
He had a wife.
I know, a wife. It's like completely polyamorous. Like they were just fucking and sucking every other person on the block, you know?
No, actually they were.
Yeah, they were. That's what he said.
No, he didn't.
When did he? So they were monogamous?
You're making it sound like they were just sluts to each other or like sluts to other people, but in fact, most of the time they were together.
Most of the time they were together what?
They were together. Like, it's not like these other people were just being fucked, or they were going out and flying out and shit and doing other people and never touching each other. right? That's the way that.
Well, the way I remember it actually is that they would give each other pass. So like she would go to Sweden
Yeah,
and
they
be
would
like,
give each other passes to do other shit.
right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So just because there's like a.
Right, but you framed it in a way to where that like she would never touch him. He was disgusting to her.
No, I didn't.
He would only fuck other people.
I didn't say
That's
that.
how it's framed on the internet. That's how it's framed in the way you said it.
I didn't. I wasn't even. That wasn't even in my brain when I. Of course, I figured they were having sex with each other. I figured also half the time, or at least most of the time, that they're having sex
See,
with
that's
other
what I mean,
people.
like most
They're having.
half.
What?
That's what I mean. That's how you're framing it. You're saying most and half. Like most of the time they're together. They're married. Like.
Well, not anymore. But yeah, so when they were married, you're saying most of the time they were having monogamous, like normal.
Probably not to the end, right? Obviously, because they fucking divorced. But
Well, yeah, and she like
during
cheated
the
on
main
him and
course
stuff
of their
like that.
relationship.
But, I think they all cheated on each other. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just saying Destiny is more like Andrew Tate sexually in terms of his views of women than Andrew Wilson. I think that's my point, and you might disagree, but I'll let the chat
Yeah,
decide.
sure. I would say that the most similarity to relevant to this in comparison is human trafficking, because that's the worst thing about the negative parts about that person.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I agree.
What I would say is that the limitation of someone's rights is closer to human trafficking than having a sexual or romantic disagreement with how you think you should act in a relationship.
So is everybody before the year 1950 a human trafficker?
Did I say that he was a human trafficker?
Oh, sorry. Are they closer to being human traffickers than not human traffickers?
Than Destiny? Yeah.
Than Destiny?
Yeah.
Crazy work. Okay. I'll let the chat make their own.
It's all about the limitation.
What's
It's all
up?
about the limitation of women's rights, bro.
Okay. That's crazy. To equate the philosophical argument, which I'm not even saying I agree with, that not everybody needs rights, to human trafficking is kind of insane.
Not everyone needs rights.
Well, not everyone needs every right. But that's wild. Okay.
All I'm saying
Need a
is
haircut.
that Andrew Tate can use your argument. He can't use my argument.
Andrew Tate could not use any of my arguments because he would have to.
He believes there's one God.
He does believe there's one God.
No, he believes there's one demon, one Unitarian God, Allah.
Okay, brother.
But
Does he believe that?
yes.
Or is that what you believe?
No, he believes that.
No, he believes in one God. You're just saying he believes.
Oh. Yeah, the one
I
God.
really need a haircut.
The one God he believes in is a demon, though. So
You
that's
got that
true.
Vegeta, brother.
Reese, I don't appreciate you like not letting me in. Some of us have jobs and we can't be here all day, all right?
Yeah, well, some of us don't know that you're even in the chat until they see your thing, and then also most of the times you just join with your shirt off and you want to talk about F1 when we're in the middle of a conversation.
I don't want to talk about F1 most of the time. I most of the time want to talk about something else. Like Infamous, you buy Lego?
Exactly. There we go.
Fucking love Lego.
Yeah, see?
Okay, so let's see.
I was actually in a Lego ad for a Lego Ferrari.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
You were in a Lego ad?
My cousin Chip lives in China. He does Lego ads.
That's kind of cool.
Makes a lot of money off.
That's sweet. Oh yeah, wait. Also, Destiny. Wait a second. Destiny definitely closer to a human trafficker than Andrew Wilson because he posts people's nudes that they sent to him privately in group chats. So that's definitely whatever you want to say about rights and whatever. That is literally much closer to.
Who's Andrew Wilson, and is that human trafficking?
No, that's not human trafficking. It's just closer than having a philosophical position about about voting rights or whatever, credit cards or whatever.
Right, sharing a few people's nudes is way less.
In my view, is
politically going over to the removal of women's rights.
Is way worse. Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
brother.
Well, one of them is actually doing something, and the other one is advocating.
And the other one's just doing nothing. It's just like, this is my opinion, my ass. He's literally fucking going on and like, campaigning for fucking like the removal of women's rights.
Oh,
especially the reproductive ones.
When has he done that? Well, if you're talking about abortion, then you have to say that I'm a human trafficker too, because I'm against abortion. So
no, again, you're saying that you are a human trafficker. He is a human trafficker.
Okay, how can
you?
Do you actually wait? So just let's reset.
Fun fact: abortion was actually practiced by the Native Americans, and women, if they got pregnant by someone they didn't want to be pregnant by, would take natural supplements to kill their baby.
Oh, and so it must be right.
What,
Okay.
what natural supplement? I mean, he said fun fact.
I don't know. I learned it in Howard Zinn's People's History.
What natural supplement?
This is what I'm reading right now.
Okay, hard reset. So you actually think it's a more, or no, I'm not saying you actually think this. I'll just ask you a question. Is it more defensible to post a woman's nudes in a group chat against her will, or to have an opinion, a political opinion about,
Yeah, again,
even
I
if
think
it's
you're
removing
framing
women's?
it. I think you're framing it in.
Well, frame it however you want. Answer the question however you want. Like, which one of those things
Sure.
is worse?
I think that posting a 1 or 2 women's nudes, while bad and shouldn't be done,
It's
is
horrible.
not as bad. It is horrible. I agree with you.
Yeah.
What if
Is
your
not as
opinion
bad
is
as
that like, the
campaigning.
Holocaust was cool?
Is not as bad as campaigning for the removal of women's reproductive rights. Thank you very much. Crazy opinion, I know.
Yeah,
like-
that is kind of crazy to me. But hey,
I feel like there's the
if
thing
you,
is
if you
like,
stand
not to
by it,
mention also
having
their right
an
to vote,
opinion
you know.
and campaigning so that your opinions are enacted into law and then thus will affect other civilians and people.
No,
is
dude, he just
way
has an
different
opinion.
than
like-
Having an opinion.
yeah, no, I
Thank you.
I think the opinion is totally commonsensical. I'm not talking about the women, the voting right now, because haven't really thought about that deeply.
But I feel like we're extrapolating too much and making it too broad. The idea of
Yeah.
having an opinion is very different than like you having an opinion and then
Okay,
lobbying.
okay. How about this?
or being in
Okay,
a
so
nonprofit
yeah, sure.
like the
Okay,
NRA.
so I'll make it really specific. Do you think it's worse to solicit nudes or just receive nudes from a woman and then share those nudes without her consent to a bunch of people in a group chat and to your friends?
I think it's the
Or-
whole internet. You can broaden it if you want. because-
Or what's the or?
It can be the whole internet, but it could just be a few people. Or be an advocate against abortion, and that could mean lobbying. That could mean standing on the street with a sign and
Again,
having
we're making it
conversations
too
with
simple.
people.
Like he literally tries to get it enacted into law to remove the will.
That's
the rights.
that's what I said. Lobbying. Okay, fine. So he's enacting abortion, which, by the way,
Yeah, removing the rights
would
from
vote-
women, removing reproductive rights for women is worse than like publicly.
I don't know.
removing-
Well, no,
believing
because
abortion
the
is wrong
only-
is
the
definitely
only-
not worse. But being one of those people in
Believing
New
it's
York
wrong
City
isn't
with a
worse.
Jesus sign is worse.
But believing it's wrong and actually believing it's murder means that you would want to lobby it. And like, for
I don't
instance,
care about what you believe. I care about what you're doing, like you said earlier. in
yeah,
this
exactly. Okay, fair enough. So you actually think it's wrong if you believe that abortion is murder to lobby for it.
discussion. Yeah. In addition, he also mocks women. Like, constantly.
But then why is it wrong if
He
people...
also asks again. Again, I don't know why we're like limiting it to these points of like.
Well, because you
he
said
does
it
this one thing that's
because-
not at all related to
because
this.
you brought it
I mean,
to
I
that.
do think it's
You
worse.
said
I've
he's
already
more-
answered your question twice. I've already answered your question twice.
I know.
But
I'm just trying to get
also-
clarity on that. 'Cause
But
it's insane.
also,
So, but no,
also,
can I explain
you
real
have-
quick why we
well,
brought it here?
because also he has a huge abundance of other shit, like publicly humiliating women in debates, right? Claiming that women only have rights because men granted to them,
Well,
and
that's
then
true.
demeaning them as if they
That's
can't take
100% true.
it. Right, and then demeaning them as if they couldn't take it,
What do you mean
Right?
couldn't take it? I don't understand.
as in they couldn't get them by themselves.
How could they get them by themselves?
But I don't care if it's the case; it's demeaning.
So
Like,
stating
demeans them,
Women
dude. Like
didn't
it's
have
it's.
rights.
I don't. Yeah, like I don't care. Like it's demeaning. Like he actively tries to demean them to prove a point. That's a bad thing to do. I wouldn't demean you to
I
prove a
agree
point,
that's
you
bad.
wouldn't demean me
I
to prove a
think
point.
no, I wouldn't, and I do think that's not a good tactic to demean women.
Reese, do you think that
the whole
because
first
men
part
are
about him
stronger than
just stating-
women, that women are made to be subjugated?
No, subjugated.
He
Not
fucking thinks
subjugated,
that.
but you think that men obviously are meant to work and that women are meant to be in the household and that they're supposed to be subservient to us in some way or another.
I would say submissive. The way that we say is that the man is the head of the household and the woman is the neck. So without
Like,
a woman,
he
there's no
mocks
household.
women for having careers.
Okay, I don't support that. I don't agree with that. I think it's
He,
way. Wait.
he actively
Okay.
like tells people like you're delaying your
And
motherhood.
not to stick
for
on
something
this,
stupid.
but I think it's way worse to
to do
share.
something to one or two women, then try
Yes.
to remove the rights of
At-
of
to-
1,000 women, of 10,000 women, of 1,000,000 women.
Can you let me finish? I think it's way worse to non-consensually share people's sexual nude images on group chats and
Awful
on
thing.
the
He's a
internet.
terrible person.
Yes, than to say words to women in a debate.
Then to say words to women.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
okay,
if the
yeah,
women
yeah, that's
that
it. That's
the
it.
dudes were asking for it?
What's that?
What if the women sending the nudes were asking?
Well, that would be
I just-
his defense. Yeah,
I
exactly.
I just absolutely love the framing of this every single time he does it. He frames it as just saying words.
Well,
like
okay,
he
so
isn't trying to get these things enacted into law.
okay, great. It's fine. I still think it's worse to send people's nudes around than to actually campaign for laws you believe in, which, by the way, I agree with, and about 50% of Americans.
Would it be okay if I killed 2 Jews?
No.
Right?
No. It would be.
So, okay,
it would.
listen,
But you
listen,
know what? But you know what? It would
killing
be.
2 Jews is worse than lobbying for Hitler.
Yes.
Which is worse.
Duh. Obviously.
even if it would lead to Hitler's inaction. In the
Murder is worse than saying things. Always.
okay.
You disagree?
I think that if I lobby for Hitler in 1920 and then I kill 2 Jews, I think history would prove which of those actions is worse.
Reese, I think in a basic
I don't even know what
standpoint,
that
I
means.
definitely agree
Yeah.
with you that sharing someone's nudes unconsensually is worse than having an opinion that is
Yeah.
pro or anti-abortion. However,
just having an opinion,
and
yeah,
I
I'd
think
agree.
you would agree with me on this. There are people in positions of power that can do a lot more worse per se than someone that, for example, like just did what Destiny did. For example, like nonprofits is a really good example. I think there are nonprofits we both would disagree with.
Yeah.
One on the left, BLM, horribly run,
Right.
very much, one on the right, NRA.
I will agree
Both
that
of these
BLM I will agree that BLM
501
is like
charitable
horribly run.
organizations, but they have very different and borderline horrible goals,
Yeah.
It's like those people in power and those people that are just like saying things are definitely able to
I
do
agree.
worse things than what Destiny did. So that's kind of where the agreement you two are having comes from, I think.
Yeah, I think there's this misconception that Andrew Wilson is somehow like
I don't know who that
enacting-
is.
Like,
I won't lie.
oh yeah, right. I can show. I mean, on the stream, it's just this guy. He's like a YouTube debater. He's in a bunch of debates, and he's
Looks
on.
like a fisherman.
Yeah, exactly.
A fisherman.
He's basically like a right wing debater. Oh yeah, and I have a special
So he's
guest
kinda
coming on
getting his
about
nut?
how.
Wait, is the new South Park episode out? Because oh no, is today Thursday? No, it's Wednesday. It's out tonight.
Like this dude argued that the only people that inherently have rights is men, and women don't. Women don't inherently have rights. Like he said these
what is
things.
what is a right?
God gave everyone rights.
I mean, to you, yeah, you would say that. Yeah.
Right, Reese? Didn't he do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, he
There we
gives us,
go.
he gives us intrinsic dignity, which is what we base rights off of. But what is the actual right?
So when Eve ate the apple, she fucked all women.
I guess, yeah.
Is that your point? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that is not at all where I was going. But
I don't know how we got there.
yeah.
All right.
Andrew Wilson's point
I
is
was
that
like, I was
Andrew
like
Wilson's
nodding along,
point
and then
that
he said that, and I was like, what?
Andrew Wilson's point when he's saying all that stuff is that rights are only valuable insofar as you can defend them. They're only real as insofar as you can defend them. So he doesn't even believe they're a real intrinsic thing. He believes in the intrinsic dignity of human beings.
Except he's a Christian.
I guess
thinks that rights
that's
are
fair,
divinely
like the
inspired.
premise of human rights. Like
Yeah.
it's a good idea, but you can't guarantee them to everyone.
No, because whoever has the bigger gun has all the rights. That's the
Ideally,
point.
human rights would exist, but they don't. You
Right,
know.
exactly. So that's essentially his point is a deeply philosophical one and does have political ramifications. Whatever, I will never see somebody ever making a philosophical point, no matter how disgusting it is, even if it's like I believe in Hitler and stuff like that, as someone as bad that actually violates a woman's like autonomy of her body, that she sent you this nude and you just send it out to people.
You think voting for
You're
Hitler in the
horrific.
1920s isn't as bad as sending a nude for one woman? Fuck it. How many thousands of Jews died?
One thing I will say, though, I do agree with you in like a base idea,
Wow.
like I said before. I think that someone who definitely had more impact with the views that we just talk about is Kanye West. He had a tremendous negative impact
Yeah.
and a tremendous anti-Semitic impact, much more than a negative impact that Destiny had, even though Destiny definitely did a theoretically worse thing, you know?
Yeah,
So
right,
it's
right.
like, you can definitely agree, like, yeah, one's a worse thing, but at the same time, one can still have much more of a negative impact overall.
Also, I didn't know that Destiny did this, so like this just gives me more reason to hate him.
Right. I mean, and we all hate Destiny and whatever. Like,
I don't hate him, I guess. I
Yeah.
just don't like him.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying I
He just
love.
seems
I'm not saying I
slimy.
love Andrew Wilson. I actually hate that I'm in the position of like defending Andrew Wilson because I
Did you
don't.
see his debate with Matt Dillahunty?
Who, Destiny's? Or
No,
Andrew
no.
Wilson's.
That was actually pleasant to watch. Andrew Wilson's.
Interesting. Hold on, let me read a few chats real quick. Maybe we'll check that out. I don't believe in rights, and I think Wilson's view is based. He argues that you have to work in your free time for the government to only let people who take politics seriously to make decisions. It is not a good thing for anyone to vote, says Sean. Numenon, he just argues that will favor men eventually, right? And Henry called me a coward. Numenon says human trafficking is so base, ... He's kidding. Numenon says, also a philosophical position could entail similar commitments to positions that are bad, while the position itself isn't bad, right? That's true. Demeaning is often rhetoric in debates, definitely. And I'm not saying it's like
Yeah, I'm not arguing
acceptable.
that his points are necessarily incorrect. That wasn't the type of discussion I was trying to have. I was just trying to say he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and I just think Destiny's more of an asshole because he.
No, Destiny's not more of an asshole. He sounds like a nerd.
Let me just ask you. What's more demeaning, to send a woman's nudes around, or to
Does he do that
tell
well in
her
debates?
she doesn't?
Like, what are we talking about now?
No. Just in general, like two events. What's more demeaning, to send a woman's nudes without her consent to a group chat, or to tell a woman she shouldn't have the right to vote in a debate?
Oh, to tell a woman? Yeah, if we're talking about it in isolation, I think Destiny's shit is way worse.
Okay.
To compare those two, yeah, Destiny's shit is way worse.
And then your point is that, like, well, then people will believe.
He
Andrew
lobbies for the actual
Wilson.
removal of women's rights.
I've never heard. I didn't know he was a lobbyist. But that's fair enough. Okay, so
like politically funds campaigns, etc., etc.
I didn't know that, but that's interesting. Okay, so
he politically funds campaigns.
I think he probably donated to Donald Trump, but Donald Trump has never ever ran on on any sort of platform of removing people's rights to vote. In fact, he needed a lot of female votes in this last election. But anyway. Okay, so Mighty Star, like, rhetoric is or can be useful in debates, but doesn't prove your position. Totally, yeah. Murder is worse, in my opinion. For example, my effect on politics could be way smaller than the damage I could cause to the people in my personal life. Yeah, I generally agree with that. Like, any one vote is never going to outweigh, like, if you did one murder, the rippling negative effects of a murder are going to be way worse than your...
What if my one vote causes 2 murders?
I mean, now we're in some kind of weird utilitarian thing, but I don't see how that would ever be possible.
But what if it does?
Fun fact,
Like,
our second
what kind of
president of the
situation is
United
that?
States represented the murderers in the Boston Massacre.
That's crazy.
Our
I
president...
know.
Who did?
John Adams.
John Adams defended the murderers in the Boston Massacre.
Yeah, he got them off. He got them acquitted. But 10,000 of the 16,000 people living in Boston after the verdict protested. So like they had to withdraw troops. It was bad.
Wow, that's
It's like
crazy.
it's literally just us nowadays.
What's that
So
one
Mighty
guy with the freaky
yeah.
smile?
Uh,
The fucking
Joker.
No. He's like the alt-right guy.
Creepy.
he,
Oh,
like,
Charlie
looked at
Kirk.
colleges and
Charlie
shit.
Kirk.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Did you not watch the South Park episode?
Yeah, I watched.
Yeah, it's
the South
classic, dude. It's a great up. I
It
love
was
when
Charlie Kirk was
ice
like,
invades
I love all
heaven.
this shit. Yeah, ice invaded.
I mean, the fact that Christy Noe got more upset about them making fun of her
that was
facelift
very
and the
funny.
fact that she was constantly shooting puppies in the episode is just so insane.
Dude,
yeah, literally.
my thing was that like
They were
Charlie
like, "Oh,
Kirk
they're
was
making
putting
fun of
out-
a woman's appearance." Like, no, they had
Yeah,
you shoot
you were
dogs.
shooting puppies in every other scene.
But dude, the fact
The
that
thing
Charlie
where
Kirk was
Crypto
just like,
flies in and just gets domed is incredible.
Yeah.
oh yeah, Crypto was in the fucking episode.
Yeah, then he got shot.
Dude, the fact that Charlie Kirk was like all over social media, like pushing hundreds of videos, like I'm talking actual like hundreds, and then in a couple interviews just being like, no, I really like the episode. Like, bro, you do not like the episode. There's no way. I would never, ever have so many videos and so much content on the internet after the episode being like, I really like it if I actually liked it.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
wouldn't
No,
comment on it,
that's a good point. It did seem like a cope that he was kind of liking it. Although I was watching the episode and one of the abortion arguments, I was like, wait, that was actually logical? Did South Park do that by accident? And it turns out all of his
because people have different beliefs.
They were yeah, yeah, exactly.
It wasn't logical, Reese. He just randomly brought up, well, why is it when someone gets murdered and they're pregnant, it's a homicide?
Well,
I
yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That was not
exactly. No, that is logical. That is logical.
He randomly will say one of three things to steer the conversation.
No,
into his
totally.
direction.
No, totally.
Please don't tell me you thought that was a good argument.
That is a good argument. What's wrong with that argument?
I mean, I think
you can just
people have different beliefs. Just because people that wrote the law had that belief doesn't mean that it's inherently correct.
No, but the idea is that
there are people that want to repeal the 13th Amendment.
The idea,
and there was a point where the 13th Amendment didn't exist. That doesn't make it correct.
No, I understand. I'm saying the point is that the law, in order for abortion to be legal.
Lego fucking Batman game.
Nice.
Dude, I'm so fucking pumped. Oh my
it's
god.
Lego Arkham, bro. It's literally Lego
Dude,
Arkham.
it looks insane. Like when I saw him pulling out the explosive
and
gel,
Charlie
like,
and Charlie
shit.
Kirk redirects. No, I'm kidding.
He mentioned it, so I had to chime
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Dude, it looks
No, you're
so
right.
good.
You're right. It does. That will be fun.
Did you see it?
No, but I love the Lego video games.
So basically, it's like they're combining the movies with the Lego Arkham games, or not the Lego Arkham games, but the Arkham games to make like it looks pretty good. I won't lie, it looks pretty sick.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not trying to get into a big thing right now, but like the thing in question is, are fetuses human beings according to the law? And according to at least one of our laws, fetuses are counted as human beings. That is something that is worth
we're
bringing
talking
up.
about morality. We're not talking about whether or not they should be counted as in the law, because obviously they should. If a lawyer gets that case, they're going to quote the law.
Well, then,
no one's saying that they're not
why
counted
would
under
the law apply to a fetus in one instance and not in the other?
Because in one instance it has to do with the actual choice of someone else's autonomy, in the other it doesn't.
Yes, it does. The murderer chose to kill a pregnant woman.
Well, yeah, the murderer chose to do that, I guess.
Yeah, and the woman chose to kill a baby. I'm not saying let's
Except that one is
retroactively go
dependent
and
upon the other's continued existence. You don't get to live in my house if you don't pay rent.
yeah, and the murderer's thing is like, you don't get to live at all if you don't give me your purse, and then he kills him. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, except that one is to do with my actual very existence. The other is I have no money. Give me money. Like
Actually, most abortions are because the women feel like I don't have enough money or success or whatever or free time to raise the children. So it actually quite literally is the fetus doesn't give me money.
Whether or not that's actually why, but
yeah, I think we could find those. But let's read a couple chats and then I'll try to find those statistics. But Mighty Starlock has an interesting point. Lobbying for Hitler in 1920 would have been fine at the time because you wouldn't know that he would do later. Lobbying now, knowing what he'd do, would be very wrong. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, the question, well, that is actually a point for why not everyone should vote. Because most people don't know bullshit.
The women in
they don't know
Germany shouldn't have
anything.
voted.
Well, they already weren't. But I'm saying
tired
even
of
less.
people that don't
fewer-
own property voting.
I'm
Let's
saying
bring that back. If you don't own property, get the fuck out of the
well,
courthouse.
yeah, that is sort of the argument. I'm not saying I support that, I defend that, but it's a logical argument that isn't insane to at least bring up. That
Reese, you own zero property and you still
Yeah.
vote. Shut up.
I don't want to vote. I don't care about my voting rights. Also, I don't think I should be able to vote. So
oh, dude,
you don't like living in a republic?
We've talked about this before. I think only people that like genuinely contribute to the country should actually vote. If you think about it, that's how voting works in every other sphere of society.
No, it doesn't. It's always every other sphere of society. It's still a republic. It's not like the idea of a republic vanishes throughout. What? Because we have delegates, you don't think it's real? Is that your problem? I'm confused.
No, I'm saying that we have 18-year-olds who have never had a job, who have no education, who don't know anything about the people they are voting for, making decisions. Essentially,
But we also have old people.
You know
who are
why? Because they're
know nothing about the
you know
current
why?
laws for the
Because
actual
they're the
society.
American people.
Yeah,
and
I think
America is
old
not
people.
a system of ideas. America is not a set of ideals. It's not laws. It's people. Okay, and the laws dictate that once you turn 18, you're an adult, and if you were born here, you're a citizen.
Right.
Okay.
I do
Again,
disagree with the
America's not
18-year-olds.
this right-wing set of ideals that people constantly like to defend.
Did I say
and
that?
I'm ripping this from Sam Hyde, but still,
Yeah.
America's a people. That's what it is. It's the American people, and if you're a politician,
Yeah.
your duty is to the American people.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, that's a good
And if
argument.
you're an American
That's a good
citizen, you
argument.
have the right to vote. That's always how it's been since 1776. We live in a
Well,
republic.
no, that's not how it's always been. It's not been like that. It's only been like that since the 1920s.
Not since
but,
17. You're right. You're right.
but,
That's a good point. It's actually been it was very limited in 1776. You're correct.
Yeah.
However, it should not have been.
Right. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
that's a
black
good
people
argument.
and property owners non-property owners shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a
every
little
man,
bit silly.
unless
Or that
you're
white
black, have the
servants,
rights.
the amount of white servants that were in the colonial United States that couldn't vote.
Yep. Yeah. Lots of white, black men could not vote.
But not the women.
Yeah, and women. So like men and women, white and black, it doesn't matter who you were. Only a very few number of people could vote. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying I think there are too many people that are horrible voters. But I think Henry makes a good point here. Who am I to say? Like, do I have the right to take that away from them? No, I really don't. So I'm just saying it's not the most insane conversation to have. It's not. It doesn't make you an evil person to have a conversation about who should vote. I think it does make you an evil person to send people's nudes around. That was my original argument. But,
I don't disagree. If that's all he was doing, I might agree with you. That's not all he's doing. So
okay, so you think he's like masterminding like the Republican Party?
That he's lobbying for the
he's like lobbying for
the removal of women's rights.
I've never seen that or experienced that, but if that's the case, then whatever. I guess I could see why you would think he's evil.
You have to at least say that my position is more defendable if that is the case.
Your position is more defensible if that is the case, but I have no confidence that that's really the case, to be quite frank. But would be happy to I'd be open to evidence in that, because all I see of Andrew Wilson, I see him running a debate business and debating, and so I don't see
the say running.
What's that?
Like I see him running so fast. He raced Ashton Hall.
I see him sprinting around.
He raced ISO speed.
He raced ISO speed and beat his ass. Okay, so a few more comments here. Newmount says, also, my personal lobbying wouldn't make much of a difference anyway. Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, to be fair, Andrew Wilson does have a big audience, so his lobbying would be more effective. Mighty Sark says, I agree. Andrew makes good points, especially when it comes to politics. The conversations should be had. I agree with that. I think more conversations are better than less. Newman says, one vote wouldn't have done anything, but sending explicit images of someone would ruin their life. Right. And that's what I was going to say.
Potentially do nothing. It's a small chance for it to do something. Big, massive, incomprehensible amounts of...
Well, I don't know how...
Amounts of...
Well, one vote doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
the denying of one vote does a great deal. So I like to think about the flip side. Imagine being denied the ability to vote. That does a lot.
Yeah, I don't
think
that's
the thing. Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's my thing. No one is saying that your vote is like bigger than anyone else's. Right? And I'm not saying that the act of voting is worse than the showing of the nudes. I'm saying that the vote, when we have all the context in the future, if it leads to the potential removal of many rights,
sure,
then it is worse than the showing of one woman.
Yeah, right. So
would you agree that that's a defensible position and ideal to hold?
I would agree that if you could confirm any of that to be the case, then it would be defensible. But unfortunately, you can't.
Cool. I think that the potential downside. I think that the potential downside is way worse. So I think that's worse.
Yeah. Okay. You think it's worse based off of essentially a prophecy that you're making, completely unfounded.
I mean, if you want to religiousize it, fine.
Well, you're talking about the future and future effects and your one vote being
I'm 100%. I have a third eye, bro. I can
right. I mean, so that's why I'm saying utilitarian ethics or even like philosophy or anything just doesn't work.
Anything that deals with the math,
anything that
deals with the math or value of any living being, you just call utilitarian. Like,
well, is it not?
No, utilitarian is taking that value system to be absolute and dealing it with the lines. Like that's what utilitarian is. If I just say that saving 1,000 people, if I say that saving 1,000 people is better than saving one person, that's not fucking utilitarian. It's common sense.
Exactly. Yeah, no, but it's utilitarian to actually act on that, like 100% by definition.
What? So you wouldn't?
I mean, did you ever take a class about utilitarianism?
Are you a utilitarian?
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying utilitarianism is at all times totally wrong, not useful, yada yada yada. But there's a fact of the matter about utilitarianism where
Tony wants to speak.
It's the idea that the means justify the ends. The means never justify the ends. Every means
Never
is
justify the ends.
Never,
bro.
not once. Every means is an ends in itself.
How do I let him spend?
Yeah, there we go.
Tone wants to speak.
Yeah, let's get Tony in
There
here.
you go. There you go.
What's up, Tone?
What's up, Tone? Hey, Tone.
Good evening, guys.
We
Good
call
evening.
him
Good
Tone
evening.
now. What's happening?
I'm watching
You call
Sopranos.
me what you want, baby.
No, bro.
You ever seen Sopranos, Tony?
No, I haven't.
Great show. Great show.
Oh, what? You haven't seen The Sopranos, bro?
Yeah, excellent show.
Bro, 2026 is looking to be a good fucking.
Wait, hold on. Let me use the bathroom. Tony, what do you think, man? What do you think Andrew Wilson is worse than Destiny?
Literally, I just saw you go live. I just finished playing Halo. So,
Nice.
What is this about?
What's your opinion on Andrew?
Wait,
Wilson?
I think Destiny
And
is worse than Andrew Wilson because Destiny shares nudes unsolicited to group chats from women that without their consent, and Andrew Wilson has opinions about rights. That's the argument.
Oh, yeah,
I
he
don't
just
even
has
know how we
opinions on
got here.
rights,
Well,
man.
you flesh out the argument. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and
He
grab
loves
some more
framing it
coffee.
like that, bro. He loves framing it like
So
that.
you frame it your way, and tell Tony what this is about.
Oh, it is basically the lobbies for the removal of women's rights and voting.
He lobbies. So he's an Orthodox Christian, right? If I remember.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that he lobbies for like the
Yeah.
removal of women's rights to vote. So I'm against that, and I think that's way worse than like showing one
women's
person's nude.
I think. Well, how are we judging this by morals or?
Sure. I mean,
think
it's
morally
your. At the end of the
accurate-
day, it's your opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think Desticuk is worse. Because he admitted to watching his girlfriend get wrecked or something like that, and whilst he takes it up the arse or something.
He finds it hot, so who cares?
Yeah, he's just a fail.
Consenting adults. It's just consenting adults. Who cares? Why do you care about Tony goes down the street? Like,
I just think that's. Has he
I
got
think
children?
I think he's got one kid, I think, but I don't think any of that shit happened. No, it definitely happened when he was born. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Actually, you know what? I think that's
This would
way
be
worse
alright in
than.
California.
I think that's way worse than the nude shit. I don't know why we were talking about that. That like the shit that's happened to that kid's like fucking reputation now when he grows up, man. Oh, that's fucked.
Oh, he's gonna get destroyed in school.
The same thing though. It's probably gonna happen with Andrew Wilson when he has a kid.
Possibly.
Yeah, it'll
People are
definitely.
just gonna make fun of him. People are just
If he's
gonna.
got enough money to send her to private school or something like that, or something more.
Yeah, the only
conservative,
reason
then
it's
he'd be
not
fine.
going to happen to Ben Shapiro's kids is because they'll go to a Jewish school where everyone agrees with their parents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I down here there's been some bullying of Jewish kids in schools down in Kent.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with that shit. Unless they're actively being like, I fucking hate Palestinians, just kill them all, like, yeah, bitch or shit.
There's been some schools
Unless there's some Protestants.
being lied about as well.
Unless they're Protestants, you can't beat the shit out of them.
What's happened so far? Right.
Oh, what? So,
That discussion.
where were we? Okay, yeah. We were just watching this. So we can do something else though. So wait. Oh, Numenon had a good question, which I'm interested in. Wouldn't the bodily autonomy argument for abortion work for self-harm as well? But I think to Numenon, at least when I supported or whatever, believed in that abortion wasn't murder, I would say that people should be able to kill themselves as well. That was like, so I would maintain my consistency of my worldview by saying, oh yeah, anyone should be able to kill themselves.
They don't have the mental faculties to deal with that. They're literally like the reason they want to go and do that is because they've experienced some form of trauma. They don't have the mental faculties to make that decision.
And yet a fetus does. What?
Oh yeah, the fetus 100% off the bro.
Right. So that wouldn't defend abortion if you just said they don't have the mental faculty to.
Sometimes the fetuses just explode inside of it.
Yeah. So how does that defend abortion? Oh wait, Mighty Sarlacc says he can't hear, but I don't know if that's.
That's not I can hear.
No, this is on me. Hold on, I need to change my.
Okay.
Yeah, the desktop audio is not coming through. Hold on.
Oh, could they not hear us? No, they could hear us.
They could before, but I just switched because I have a special guest coming, M. Allen. I don't know if you guys remember her. You know her, Henry. She's a comedian, and she has some funny, wacky, like, spiritual views, and she's going to hop on in person.
Ariel?
No, M. Allen. White Ariel. Let's see. Sorry, guys.
So what were we arguing about? Who was a better man? Destiny or Andrew Wilson?
Oh, there we go. Okay.
No, it was closer to Andrew Tate.
Who's closer to Andrew Tate?
Yeah. It started with me making a crazy claim, like because someone, I think Infamous said, one of these two is more like Andrew Tate than the other, and I was like, yeah, Destiny.
Yeah, I said I started out with a better position because both their names was Andrew.
I'd probably say Andrew Wilson's closer to Tate.
Yeah, I just thought because Andrew Wilson actually has like a traditional family and like a wife, so clearly he has some amount of respect for women. And my point was like Destiny has zero respect for women, and then we got into this whole
Andrew
thing.
Tate has no respect for women.
Yeah, and Andrew Tate has no respect for women, and Destiny has no respect for women. So that's where we went. Down that rabbit hole.
He lobbies for their rights, but okay. Anyway, like the main thing that I actually think that Tony changed my opinion on this. I think that he might be a worse person than Andrew. Mainly because, bro, his kid is fucked.
Well, yeah,
His kid is so fucked.
Well, and the way he treats the kid is so strange. So it's like
I don't know how he treats the kid, dude, but he has like a multi-sexual relationship.
And he's like, isn't he a super MAGA like?
Online. Who?
The kid, Destiny's kid, or are you talking about Andrew Wilson's kid?
No. I'm talking about fucking Destiny's kid. Like,
Destiny's kid.
Bro. He's 100% gonna get bullied.
Well, Destiny's kid, I think like I think he does have some weird sexual stuff going on online, but then he's also like super anti. I don't know if he's anti-Semitic or like anti-Zionist or whatever it is, but like mega like hard line. He basically is like Destiny on the exact other side of the spectrum, and I think it's because
he hates Jews.
I'm pretty sure I saw something. I mean, I don't want to just like now. I'm just speculating, throwing shit into the wind, but okay, let's finish this Jubilee video. And see if there's anything. So Destiny's claim is the MAGA movement would not exist at all without massive amounts of disinformation.
Sorry, did you use the word any? You don't hear anybody talk about that?
Speaking like a human being right now.
Oh, but when
right?
Donald Trump speaks like a human being, he's a liar.
Trump doesn't speak like a human being.
Yeah, he's
a moron.
Anytime.
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump speaks like an idiot.
So, would you say it's misinformation? For instance, is it misinformation when you say that a firefighter who got murdered at a rally, when you laugh at that and you say that that's totally fine, are you spreading misinformation?
No, I said that's totally fine.
Yeah, that was pretty egregious.
He did laugh at that.
That was very egregious. And he said, and I think if I remember correctly, he said that's what that guy deserves for being at a Trump rally.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's just like whatever moral ground he ever could have claimed, that's gone.
Well, yeah.
If you're firefighters, right? Firefighters, soldiers, ambulance, but that sort of thing, right? They're quite special to the country because not everyone is capable of doing those jobs.
Right.
They're quite virtuous jobs.
Yeah.
So if you're celebrating the death of or the murder of a firefighter or a cop or an army or a soldier or NHS sort of thing, like a doctor, nurse, then I don't give a shit what you got to say on abortion and stuff.
Well,
exactly.
The worst part about the situation is that he said that when he thought it was a meme, but he will never admit to it because he can't admit that. So he's put himself in this position where he thinks where he's presenting himself as defending laughing at the death of a fucking firefighter because he can't admit that he thought it was a joke. He's such a sophist.
Well, and then also,
he was on Piers Morgan the day after defending him saying that.
Even if he thought the firefighter part was a joke, which makes no sense. Like, how could you think what would be the joke?
I think because his chat fucking constantly just be like, "Hey, did you hear that this crazy thing happened?" To get his like opinion on shit. Like I've seen that shit.
Yeah.
But stop. Like if you thought it was a joke, just say that.
But also, but so clearly, either he won't admit that, but also he knows that Trump getting shot wasn't a joke, unless he thought the whole thing was a joke. Maybe that's what you're saying. But
no, I'm talking about the firefighter thing.
But so, regardless of that, his attitude is like, in that clip is, oh, political violence? Rah, rah, hoorah, right? That's what they get.
If Trump is a pedophile, like low-key, I'd be okay with it.
I don't even think that's the argument he was using. I think he was just like,
no, it's not.
This
is
what Trump gets. I don't think anyone thought Trump was a pedophile.
If Trump was a pedophile, then in hindsight, you couldn't complain, but you would like to see him be brought to justice and done properly.
Yeah, you wouldn't promote like random acts of violence that also take out other innocent people in the audience that are just at the rally or whatever, you know.
I don't like if he's a pedophile, he can die for all I care.
Yeah, if he's a pedophile, whatever.
No, I agree. It should be capital punishment.
Yeah, totally.
Capital punishment. He should be fucking executed in the street. I don't know. Fuck.
Well, I think there should still be a trial, because what happens when a kid just like
Okay, fine. Not in front of kids. Whatever.
Well, no. I'm just saying, like, it has happened before, and I'm not saying this is the majority of times. I'm not saying it's not tragic, whatever's happening behind that. But there are people that have been falsely accused of being pedophiles and every other crime under the sun. So there needs to be a trial for everything. But then once there's a trial and you're decided by a jury of your peers to be a pedophile, then fucking cut your head off, whatever, you know? So anyway, I don't know how we got on that, but let's...
you just end up with vigilantism there. It's just...
Yeah, vigilantism just doesn't work, I don't think.
No, you didn't. You laughed about it. You thought it was funny. You didn't give a shit. You were under fire on Twitter for weeks until you finally backed away.
I haven't backed away from any of those statements.
Yeah.
You can go find the
You haven't backed away
Yeah, and
from
that's kind of the problem, that you haven't backed away from the statements of, like, fuck the firefighter who got killed. I mean, it's crazy.
You don't care that the guy died, right?
Destiny's rhetoric is that, like, he's not prepared for people like fucking this dude.
No, he's really not. That's why I picked this video, because it's like the one time. My preface to this whole thing was like, Destiny is usually able to, no matter whether his arguments are good or bad or whatever, he's usually able to seem like he won the debate in almost every situation, just by, I don't know, I guess if I talk fast enough, it sounds like I won. But Andrew Wilson actually.
Let's not pretend like he doesn't actually have like fucking facts on his side all the time.
No, I mean,
when I say facts, I don't say that he's like using them in the correct way, but he
exactly.
absolutely says shit that is true.
No, for sure. Agreed. And then I think his conclusions are just batshit. But like,
sure.
But then, yeah, I agree. I mean, he has a skill at debating, and that's what I was trying to say this whole time. Like, that's what I was trying to say. That's why debating doesn't lead to truth. I don't think per se. It can, like a good debate can, but having a debate doesn't mean you get to the truth.
Well, I mean, this isn't a fucking. What's it called? What's the guy with the afro with the white strip in his hair, bro?
No idea.
He lobbied for fucking like black people's rights and shit. He wrote a bunch of books, a bunch of pictures.
Malcolm X? I have no idea.
No, not Malcolm X. Older than that.
Yeah, you don't care.
When this side is involved in some of the most violent, divisive. Here's a question.
Care about misinfo?
Here's a question. That has nothing to do with misinfo. Here's a question.
Wait.
Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi? Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi?
What? Even if I made any outrageous claim possible, it has nothing to do with your claim, which is what we're talking about. We're talking about your claim.
The problem is Andrew Wilson actually knows how to do a debate, right? More so than I do or anything. So when this kind of this deflection, like, well, what about your claim about that? It's like, that's not what the topic is.
I mean, he's like trying to defame. Well, that's the thing, is that he's trying to like defame his character as if he could, because he did something similar, and like Dustin's trying to bring it to that, which isn't exactly not.
Which is fair.
It's like, yeah, I mean, like it's a fair like.
In terms of a discussion,
like,
it would be fair.
He's not able to move him.
But in terms of the rules of a debate, it is a fallacy to move the goalposts.
Well, I mean, they're not exactly doing fucking.
But yeah, this is also not the top tier. This is not the fucking Oxford whatever bullshit. This is like the lowest tier of debating ever, which is surrounded Jubilee 25
throwing shit.
Yeah, just shit level. 25 retards versus one other retard or whatever. Like what this is.
And of course not.
Stop
he doesn't
switching
acknowledge
the
what happened on
goalposts.
January 6th. He doesn't acknowledge
And
that
you're
people are turning
filibustering.
away
You're
FEMA right now
Stop
because
spurging.
they're
Stop
convinced that
spurging.
the federal government's going to take their
Stop
house.
Stop spurging.
That's a term I haven't
Stop
heard
spurging over and over
Yeah.
again. I'm not here to talk about my tweets, but if that's what you really want to talk about, you do it. I've tweeted crazier shit than that, I promise.
This is crazy.
He's kind of getting it. I like a lie. Destiny kind of
You
brought it
just
back
said
a
right
little
now you
bit.
don't care.
You can look at
I couldn't even hear a single word he was saying. Like literally,
I could. It was
I couldn't hear a single
It was
word.
a machine gun versus a semi-automatic.
Yeah.
I mean, I could hear him. You're fucking just like not listening.
What did he say? I actually genuinely didn't hear a single
At
word.
one point, he was just like, if you want to talk about my tweets, I don't know why we're here to do that, but
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
How is it now? Let me explain how it's.
to do with
I'm
misinformation?
going to explain how it's misinformation.
Okay.
Because don't you think that if you make claims like Donald Trump is un-American, Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution, and then you have an assassin come, he tries to kill Donald J. Trump at a rally, another American dies. Aren't you spreading misinformation by saying to people, this is okay? Isn't that
I don't think
un-American?
I've never said this is
Isn't
okay.
it
I've said
un-American?
over and over again that there shouldn't be any political violence in the United
that's
States.
great.
It's not good.
That's
you can laugh.
great.
You guys are the ones
But
that
Donald
support
Trump
it.
said that on
You
January
guys deny
6th.
it.
He said it during January 6th.
After he sat and watched it happen for 3
Oh,
hours.
well, after
when
the
he was
guy died,
only
now you're
person-
sorry about
You're
your
sorry.
Yeah, you're not
Please
sorry.
Stop
exactly.
projecting onto me. I never said I was
Yeah.
sorry.
All right, we get it. We're done with this. So interesting little Destiny moment when it's kind of when an unstoppable object
Destiny
meets an
debate.
immovable force or whatever, the
You have
opposite.
that. You have that one Destiny debate with that one dude who was like in prison for fucking 3 years. He fucking destroyed him, dude.
Destiny destroyed him,
was
or the
a-
prison guy destroyed Destiny?
No, Destiny destroyed him because he was like, "Do you believe dinosaurs exist?" And he refused to answer, and he was like, "See what I fucking mean?" It was terrible.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, look that up, dude. Because that's funny. I don't even care about Destiny winning it. It's just the guy.
What is
who
it?
is, like,
Destiny
sounds
like
an asshole.
dinosaur debate?
Destiny dinosaur question or something.
Yeah.
Dinosaur debate. It's the...
Oh, this guy. I think I have seen this. Let's see if we
Our
get
side is the party of sanity and the party of common sense. And if you can't see that in this debate, then you're never going to see it.
You're never gonna. The party of sanity is the party that doesn't believe in dinosaurs and thinks that we create hurricanes.
What are you talking
They go-
about?
do you believe in dinosaurs? You think
What
they're
is this
real?
dinosaurs?
Wait, do
What are
think
you talking about
wait,
dinosaurs?
Do you think the dinosaurs
Do you
ever
play
roam
with
the earth?
dinosaur
Do you
toys?
think the
Why are you
dinosaurs?
bringing this up?
Do you think the dinosaurs
Is that
ever
a
roam the
dinosaur
earth?
on your necklace right there? What
Do you
is
ever
that?
think? Do you think the dinosaurs roam the earth?
I'm not here to talk about dinosaurs.
It's insanity. It's crazy to me.
You know what? You're a political dinosaur. You're stuck in the past. This is the future right
You don't
here.
even acknowledge the outcome of the last fucking election. How am I the one stuck in the past? You guys lost in 2022 for the same reason.
Everything you're told from the mainstream media. You're right. There's no government corruption. They don't rig elections. It's never happened. The government is great, guys. The government loves you so much, and the mainstream media would never lie to you. They would never do that. Come
Let's
on.
say that I did.
Our side.
Yeah, that just seems like an absolutely horrific thing to watch. And I think I remember we did watch some of this, or maybe that was
Maybe
just
we
me.
did.
But
The third one is also kind of weird, but bro.
What, this one?
I've seen Destiny refuse to debate a Christian before based on that he didn't want to debate philosophy because he thought it was all bullshit.
Oh, I saw that. That was actually
that's why I
good.
never was around the circle. That's why I was never around the circles that he was in because
I actually
like,
made
the
a
philosophy allowed.
I made a video about this video. I'm not saying we're gonna watch it, but this was a good conversation because Destiny's not spurging. He's like mellow. Ruslan is mellow. Nobody's really debating, but it's just Ruslan kind of like.
I think I've seen clips of this.
Slowly pushing.
Right, yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one where he was just like, "I'll never be able to change your mind because your belief is based on a theocratic belief."
Right.
That murder is wrong because God says so, and it's specifically always wrong in this specific instance. Like I can't shake that with reason. So there's no
Yeah.
point in even talking about it.
Well, then J-Dyer, or like, so Ruslan also doesn't use philosophical arguments. He's
Bro had
evidentialist.
J Dyer ready. His fucking vocabulary.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Well, it's because I was getting ready to click on this, but which I am going to
It
click on.
exhausts people. Like I know Destiny was like, hey, you're not one of those presuppositional guys when we were on No Jump.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it
And I
was.
was like, I'm not gonna do that with you. Like we could just talk just the basics
So
of
he wouldn't
resurrection.
debate me on that. I want to. We tried for years, and Destiny would not.
Yeah, he doesn't want to debate
He
anyone
explicitly says he
presuppositional.
will not do that. He would only debate me on politics, and I'm not really interested in politics. So.
Yeah. He didn't even want to engage with anyone that was presuppositional.
Yeah.
It exhausts
Yeah.
people. Like I know Destiny.
Which I get. Frankly, I get. If I knew there was this like argument that works against me.
Yes, it's unbeatable, isn't it? That's the problem.
It exhausts me because it's just impossible to get you to listen.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it wouldn't really be exhausting. Would it be pretty?
Every other argument is like we can go in circles and you know, like it's fine, whatever, because like it's very clear. But like after a while, like with the tag, I'm just trying to fucking get you to talk to me, and it's just like you can't talk to me. It's like, oh, okay, well.
Yeah, your words have no
What's the
meaning.
fucking point of your
According to your worldview, your words have no meaning. So no, I'm kidding.
It's true. Why are you talking to me so? Like,
well, because according to my worldview, they do.
no, I hold my worldview. I don't hold yours.
No, I know.
I
know, but that's.
But we think you borrow from our
Why you talk to
worldview.
anyone who knows anyone? It doesn't know tag because they don't hold the worldview of tag, so they can't talk to you.
No, we think you do it without even acknowledge it. Like, you basically steal the things that you need.
Right, I'm a liar.
From us. No, you're not a liar. You're doing it unintentionally, but like, or
No,
subconsciously.
I'm a liar. I'm either lying to myself or I'm lying to you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you are kind of lying to yourself, but it's not really that.
No,
It's not like
yeah.
intentional. It's not like it's not something like malicious or anything.
Have you ever seen that one fucking thing? Have you ever lied?
No, what's that?
So you're a liar. It's like, well, not really.
This is a
Have you ever stolen
crazy
anything?
debate. This is
Yeah, so you're a thief.
retarded. I don't know.
So I got a guy from work to look at. I sent this. You know when we done the commentary on Jay Dyer reviewing the that debate between Cosmic Skeptic and Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
I got him to watch that. He watched us talking about it.
Nice.
And it actually persuaded him. It brought him out of atheism.
Oh, that's
Not
awesome.
unofficially, he said, I've got to do some looking.
Yeah.
I've got to look into this sort of thing. But like,
That's awesome.
I can't answer that.
Yeah. That's
rebuttal,
sweet, man.
He said, I can't answer that. So he's like,
Wow,
I've
look
got to
at
look
that.
into this now because, yeah.
That's great.
So this channel actually done something.
That's really cool. I'm very happy to hear that.
He
Thank
said
you
he-
for reporting on that.
Yeah. He said his words were, in all my days, I would never, ever have thought of that argument. Never.
Right.
And I said, unfortunately, our education system doesn't teach us critical thinking or right-sided thinking, sort of thing, right brain thinking. It's just get your grades, get out there, pay some tax.
Yeah.
So,
Listen to the bell.
Being so like,
Did you hear about?
I drive buses.
You drive buses, Tony, man.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you drive buses, but if I was on the sites, man, and you told me some shit like that, fuck up, Tony. Go away from me.
What, you making fun of Tony for being a bus driver? What do you do? Run Dungeons and Dragons games?
No, bus driver is like somewhere you can do that. Like you can do what he just did. That makes sense. I thought he like worked on a site or something because I don't know anyone who'd fucking listen to him if he was on a site with that shit. I might because I'm into it.
What do you mean a site? Like a construction site?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think people on construction sites are probably a little more.
It doesn't make the argument any weaker or stronger.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not talking about the argument.
Hold on.
God, sorry, bro. I misunderstood you.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to hear. I think you were kind of cutting out too, so I think we maybe took that harsher than you meant to deliver.
No. I don't mean it like I don't give a fuck, Tony. Why would you ever tell me this? Why are you a bus driver? What the fuck
Oh,
are
you're on
you
about
doing?
like yeah. It's like the banter at construction yard. They'll be like, "Fuck off."
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But I kind of expect that. That's just the society we live in.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, Tony, I'm trying to plaster this wall. Would you?
Wait, so Numenon has an interesting point here. I think maps, minor attracted persons, came out of these moral frameworks where the goal is for everyone to be able to fulfill their desires without harming anyone, right? And then, I mean, I think you could have. Wait, Mighty Star like still can't hear. Oh no! This was all before.
No society.
Oh, this is all before. Okay.
In which you can fulfill a desire as a pedophile.
Yeah, I mean that's what you would say, but I think if your morality is truly subjective, then actually there's nothing privileged about being a map or a non-map from a subjective moral framework.
Privileged? What do you mean?
Like there's nothing that's more or less good about being map or not map
society,
if morality is subjective. Okay, I can hear now. Okay, cool. High IQ debates. Yeah, right. Smokey saying, welcome, bro. I don't know. It doesn't look like you're still here, but thanks for passing through. Appreciate you always. Hello. Petition to replace Google with Jay Dyer. And wait, what? Could you repeat? Well, I think my special guest might be at the door here. What should we... were you guys talking about something? That is awesome, by the way, Tony, about your buddy. That's so cool. I'm glad he watched it. I have to rewatch that and see what we were talking about.
Yeah, he said, I've never been exposed to that way of thinking before. I've always been told in school growing up, people around me, you can't see it, it's not real.
Right. Oh, and then this is what I was going to say.
Like, very big. Obviously, you can't see the air.
Yeah.
Where he was meaning, like, sensed empirically.
Mm-hmm.
And he did use the word empiricism.
Yep.
That's how he thought. But then when he looked at that way, he was like, okay. That's unusual. Like that's completely alien to me. Never have I ever come across that type of argument.
Yeah.
No one talks about that.
And that's what I was gonna say.
Hardly anyone has been taught that.
Yeah, it's something I hadn't come across at all until somewhat recently, and you know, I know Jay Dyer seems like huge to us and in our sort of corner of YouTube he is, but like in terms of the whole world, like nobody's heard of him or any of these arguments or any of the philosophy and stuff like that.
And then who Jay Dyer is comparable to in like other spheres. Like he's not Alex O'Connor. I don't think he's Alex.
Yeah, he's not really. I mean, this is a clip channel, so this isn't his channel. I think he has like a couple 100,000. No, and he's not nearly as big as Destiny. I'd say he has probably like a couple 100,000 views. So he's kind of comparable to like, let's see, who would he be comparable to in other spheres?
He's too old. He's too previous generation.
Yeah.
Who is he?
Maybe like. There really isn't like a good well, because it's like there probably is a perfect comparison, but it's just in a corner that we're not in, right? Like that we don't know.
I don't know. I just can't think of it. Like I can't think of someone who's like it. Well, no.
You know who it is? It's like there's probably some Minecraft YouTuber that has like the same, like I don't know, influence on the Minecraft community that nobody's heard of. That Jay Dyer has on the Phil Bro community.
I still think that you should. I still think that you'd get a kick out of discussing is and I don't know if Tony's heard of him. He might. It'll be funny if he has.
Mm-hmm.
But is really? I'm forgetting his name now. Fuck me. Okay, hold on.
What a build up for that.
Yeah, for real. Wait, let me check my door real quick. I'll make sure.
Dave Farina.
Never. Nope.
I find him hilarious.
Is he a comedian?
No, he's well. Actually, no, he's not.
Sorry, what's his name?
I think he does music, and he's a previous chemistry professor.
Okay, well, what's his name again?
Ooh.
Dave Farina. He debated. You might know this guy, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Works at Discovery and stuff. He debated James Turr on the origin of life. But it wasn't that they were like trying to prove the abiogenesis. It was more that he made the specific claim, which is we have no clue about the origin of life, and Dave just fucking tore that apart.
Huh?
Because he was like, "No clue? Are you fucking whack?"
I mean, yeah, they have clues, but that doesn't mean they're like that they're close.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was the point. Yeah. Dave doesn't think we know what abiogenesis is.
Yeah. That's cool. Interesting. Yeah, I think abiogenesis
done a really interesting video on the start of life, evolution.
Yeah.
Microevolution.
Microevolution.
Nothing to do with abiogenesis.
Yeah, he done a great.
Huh.
He done a great interview on that. That was really good. It was like a round table with 2 or 3 others. It was quite interesting.
Oh, they're at the round table dinners.
I don't know. It literally it was literal round table.
What is?
Yeah,
that?
No, I know. They do the round table dinners. Was that like Oxford?
It could have been.
What was what would I look up to find that? Like whose name?
Just type in John Lennox Evolution.
Oh yeah, I think I actually have seen this.
So we watched something similar like a few sessions ago on here. That wasn't involving John Lennox.
Yeah,
it's him and 2 or 3 others.
Oh my God, there it is.
It's probably this.
Stephen Meyer.
This is probably it. Yeah, Stephen Meyer's great.
That's the one.
I love Hoover Institute, and I love this interview with Peter Robinson. He's amazing.
That's the video. That's it.
This is a great one. So anyway, we'll cue that up. I do want to, because I was personally curious, and before my guest gets here, who's not going to be interested at all in this. But so Nick Fuentes went on this crazy like pseudo Catholic rant because basically, if you guys aren't familiar, in one of the Crusades, the Catholic Crusaders came and sacked Constantinople and like killed a bunch of Orthodox Christians, and then of course both secular people and everyone in history goes like, see, the Crusades are this evil, and they're right. That was a horrific thing that the Orthodox held against the Catholic for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, rightfully. But Nick Fuentes' take was like, well, might makes right, bro. Might equals right. Like, we could do it, so we did. And which just like crazy, unhinged, anti-Christian take. So I am curious about
might does make right in the Christian worldview.
No. Literally, it's the exact opposite.
But it's just that only the mightiest can be right.
Literally the opposite.
Is God the mightiest?
Yes.
Is he right?
Yes. Did he also sacrifice him? Did he also lay down his life on a cross?
But he did that because he was the mightiest, right?
Did he lay down his life on a cross in order to become the mightiest?
I'm not saying that he made any wrong decisions. I'm just saying that he just so happens to be right because he's also the mightiest.
He is the mightiest, but he's also the most righteous. He's the most just.
He's the most.
Right, but he's that. But he
he's
is
the most
that
humble.
because he's the mightiest.
He's the most.
So
meek.
technically, I will agree with you.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's straddling
there's
with
some
any
kind of
terrible
like
position, I'm just
technical,
saying.
but the might makes right doctrine, which pervades other worldviews and religions, is reversed in Christianity. The meek will inherit the earth. The lowly, the large shall become small, and the small shall become large. Literally, like the ethos of Christianity is the opposite of might makes right. So maybe there's some technical realm that you're talking about, basically
it's basically
a
saying that
word
the only way
game.
to
You're saying like,
be
is
right
God the
in the way that
mightiest?
God is
When
to
is
be
God
the
right?
mightiest.
Therefore, might equals right by like this word game. But the ethos is the opposite of
I
might
have to
makes
find
right.
you this quote out. I was reading a book today called The History of Christianity, and there was a great quote in there saying about it's the only kingdom to be upside down.
Interesting.
I have to get
that'd be
try and
interesting.
find this quote.
So I'm curious about this personally. So if you guys will suffer me to watch this.
I'm not here to ask you any Q&A questions, but like a few days ago, you said something positive about Nick Fuentes, about the fact that he basically told young people to just like get wealthy, basically.
Well, he said to not, if you're going to engage in political action, don't be an active political revolutionary. Take time to build wealth and build up your power base over time. And in 20 years, right-wing stuff could take back America. I agree with that point, sure.
Yeah, fair. I agree with that as well. So it's not that big of a deal. But lately, like I've seen a lot of ortho bros saying, yeah, well, look, Nick Fuentes and all the Reupers are so based and stuff, and some of them associate with him. But I don't think we should forget the fact that Nick Fuentes himself said that Constantinople fell, and that's why.
Bronco sent $10. The Catholic Church helped the Ottomans sack Constantinople and killed 40 Christians, and that's not the only time they helped Muslims. Your geopolitics is fantastic, but your Christian theology is utter dog shit.
Yeah, you law. This is just this is like when Southerners talk about the North. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to explain to you. In life, there are winners and losers. There are leaders and followers.
Yeah, I know, and I said that I disagree with that. I've critiqued that stuff. I mean, critique the trads and oh, he's not a trad though. Okay, well, all the Roman Catholic sphere gets critiqued like nonstop, and that includes the Reupers as well.
Yeah, and I find it like such a bad argument because first and foremost, like Constantinople was at the time of the fall.
Uniate.
Uniate, yeah.
Right.
And if that was an argument, then
Catholicism
we would
falls.
have,
right.
Yeah, like the sack of Rome in 410 AD, Pope Gregory VII dying in exile in Salerno, the entirety of the investiture controversy.
Exactly. all of these political losses would then mean that Catholicism is false.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Also, by the way, the irony is that if you read the City of God, St. Augustine is refuting the pagan argument that Rome in the West fell because of adopting Catholicism. And Augustine's whole argument in Apologetic and City of God is that you can't judge worldly success or defeat as the definitive thing that tells you which religion is true or false. So they're actually making the pagan argument, which is so silly.
Yeah, like even Augustine, who's basically one of their most accepted.
Yeah. I think that's one of the claims I made in the past, but only because that's usually what Christians who don't understand like societal right and wrong and morals.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I think we both had that discussion where it was like Rome fell because they adopted Christianity, and even if that was true, it wouldn't necessarily defeat Christianity, especially to Christians who believe that they believe in Christianity, to be honest. Because they think that the Jews are the chosen people of God and they've done nothing but suffer. So even if a country was to become completely Christian, it wouldn't inherently mean that they would suffer or fail.
Right, yeah. I mean, and the entire Old Testament is a story of political failure
and yet manifesting with the birth of the Messiah to the Jews who are politically persecuted, right? And then there's nothing that Jesus says that like my kingdom will be
Actually,
an earthly political one, except that the church will prevail against the gates of hell. But that almost implies that the gates of hell will constantly be challenging the church, right? So I mean, that's the argument I can think of. That, what's that?
When the gates of hell, it pictures a stationary, because it's quite many.
This is a good point.
Those times, like gates, they are stationary, so they don't move.
Yeah.
If ever the church became a defensive organization, it loses.
That's true, actually.
It must be offensive.
That image is very specifically about the church being offensive against the devil.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I should have clarified that into my thing. I still think, I mean, it still implies this battle, but you're right. There is no defensive. There shouldn't be any sort of defensive nature of the church. It is an offensive entity against hell. But the point being just that, yeah, what Jay says, and I guess comes from Augustine, which I haven't read, which I probably should, but that's an insanely long and difficult book. The City of God. Yeah, that individual political failures does not mean the theology is wrong. Obviously not. And that's actually what Nick Fuentes' argument was against orthodoxy. He was like, well, we beat you guys in Constantinople in 14 whatever. So, we're the right ones. Or I've seen people on Twitter go like,
Christians in a lot of Muslim countries. That doesn't mean that Christians think that they're right.
Exactly. Yeah, but by Nick Fuentes' logic, then Islam is correct. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Also, by the way, real quick, Tony, have you ever heard of the game Faith?
The game Faith, was it on Steam or something?
Yeah, we played it on stream. I'll show you.
I think it is on. It's a game about a priest named John Ward.
Yeah.
And he's an exorcist. And they go and try and exorcise a girl. He gets scared. He runs away. And you play him, like, I think a year later, going back to the same house that's now, like, decrepit and abandoned, but she's still there, possessed, and you're trying to fix your mistakes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like a storytelling game. It's, like, kind of 8-bit, like, you play as this, like, exorcist.
Like an Atari era.
Yeah. That's very cool.
It's very good. It's like, I really enjoy the narrative of Christianity behind it.
Yeah.
Because the only time people thought that God appeared in it was a white figure that asks John Ward to make a deal with him. And everyone thought it was like God until like a few months later when the game got more popular, and they were like, that's not God, that's Satan, because Satan's
yeah.
You know the angel of light.
It sounded like Satan straight away.
Yeah, it's like the angel of light quote where it's like so the devil so Satan disguises himself as an angel of light.
That's pretty sweet. It's pretty fun.
Can I read this out for a second?
What's
it's
that?
only a couple of sentences. It's about the
Sure.
what I said earlier about the upside down thing.
Yeah. I like
another
that.
theme of Jesus' teaching is the kingdom of God or of heaven, a kingdom like no other, where God is the ruler. Here, the humble and meek are exalted, and the mighty are brought down. And he who would be first must be the servant of all. One modern writer even referred to it as the upside-down kingdom, because it reverses all the realities of human empires and kingdoms.
It's such a powerful image. I was thinking of the verse last night because you guys absolutely should watch this movie, especially you, Tony. It's called Man of God, and it's about Saint Nectarios, who's just an incredible saint from the sort of start of the 20th century. I think he died in like 1920 something, and he's the most humble man I've ever seen depicted in any sort of media ever. Or even read about
other than Jesus.
Yeah. Other than Jesus. But
what's this called?
It's called
What's the film called? Man of God.
Yeah, it's called Man of God. It's in English, entirely in English. Mostly like Greek actors, and I think
2021.
Yep, 2021. Yep, Saint Nectarios. Incredible film.
Yes.
Incredible film. And actually, the reason I found it is because the director, Yelena Popovich, goes to my church, which I didn't realize at all, but which is cool. But someone posted in our like group chat, like, whatever, just watched your movie, Yelena. It was amazing. I was like, what? The person who made this goes to my church? Anyway, so regardless of that, he's the most humble guy ever. That's a simple human. I should clarify for Infamous's sake. Enemy of the story.
I'm saving you, bro.
Exactly. For my
bro,
sake.
Listen, when you're at the gates, bro, put in a good
For
word.
the sake of my salvation. Yes, I will, certainly.
Bro, at least tell him to have a discussion with me.
Yeah, and it reminded me of Jesus when he's washing the feet of his apostles and how scandalized they are by this. Totally scandalized.
Yes.
And that's exactly this upside downness, right? That's not just their leader, their teacher, but the ruler of heaven and earth, the ruler of the whole universe, getting down, and imagine how dirty their feet are. And they're wearing sandals in the desert, right? Walking around this filthy city, Jerusalem, and he's washing.
I mean,
them.
that's not the point of that scene. The scene of that, well, okay, I mean, like, fine, whatever, dirty feet.
Enlighten us, Bishop Infamous. What is the point of that scene?
Well, I mean, the point of it is that, like, so for instance, all of the depiction of feet, basically in all of the New Testament, is to be at the feet of God, to be at the feet of someone else, to be, you know, to serve that person, right? To be subjugated to that person. A lot of it's in the Old Testament too, especially in the stuff about the slavery, but we'll never talk about that again. Basically, it's to show that Jesus is here to serve humanity.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
in the
lowly, but to wash the feet is the lowest form. It's not just I'm going to serve you and I'm going to bring you some water and some bread and stuff like that. I'm going to make you dinner or whatever. It's I'm going to go to the absolute depths of service. The most disgusting thing, the most lowly job is to wash people's feet, and that's what he does.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that might be an extra point. That's why I said at the start of it. But the main point is that he's here to serve. Like, that's the point.
Yeah. Well, and then he commands his disciples to serve as well in that manner.
I've seen Sam Shamoon talk about this. It's to fulfill some Old Testament thing where he's been washing them the whole time, but the only thing left to do is their feet, so they are. It makes them some sort of, it's like a ritual or something like that.
Yep.
But I can't. I'm not gonna point out what that is. I'm not learned enough. But I've heard Sam Shamoon go quite deep on this.
He is really.
It's very deep.
He goes real deep on the exegesis. He's great at that. Sam Shamoon and Jay Dyer are beefing hardcore. I don't know if you heard about that.
It's Sam's fault. It's Sam's fault.
It does sound like it's Sam's fault for sure.
What happened?
He's done that with so many people. He's sort of like, he must have some sort of double personality or something wrong with him. He admits there's something wrong with him as well. He does admit it.
Yeah. I think that I think if you spend so much time
what happened?
Battling the Islamic demons that they probably just kind of attached to you.
So what happened was, so what happened was Sam was in the middle of a live stream, and Jay sent him a message on text saying, "Hey, when do you want to debate? Let's debate the papacy or something like that." And then Sam live on stream went, "Oh, you see this demon manifesting? You see?" Out of nowhere, and just started beefing with him, called him like gay friar and stuff like that.
Yeah. That first thing was funny though. It was demon manifesting. That's how Streets talks about me.
A little bit of a projection. Oh, whose thoughts about you? Mine.
No, he's just like, look at this dude. Like, he's fucking
no. Only when you defend Destiny.
Have you seen Sam Shamoon versus Muslims?
Is that the one? Is that the guy who was just like, your prophet is a fucking? Is he the one with Aisha? He was like talking about how I respect Aisha more than the Muslims do because I've seen that.
Yeah, well,
type in Sam Shamoon versus Muslim. It should be like.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so
Before
funny.
you ask me, I want to ask this. Let's say Aisha was your daughter. Be honest with me. Your daughter. You're living at the time Muhammad. Your beautiful little angel, that little angel, whether it's Muhammad or Abu Bakr, they want to now marry her when she's 9. When she's 9, and they're in their 40s and 50s. They marry her. They die, leaving her a widow. In the case of Muhammad, let's take Muhammad. He then leaves your daughter a widow at 18. She can never marry. I want you to say, I'm okay with my prophet doing that to my daughter. I want it recorded. recorded.
He said, I want to record it. Look,
Because it is recorded. I want to hear it. I want people to see what Islam does.
you
Say
can
it.
ask that question. You
So
can't.
can't even answer it. Yeah.
You
'Cause
can't.
Your heart is convicting you. That's a spirit.
Like, every man will say no. You know.
Say it again. Every man will say what?
Every man will say
Before you answer, I wanna
no.
ask-
Yeah, and yet that's the moral exemplar. This is also funny, Numenon.
It's like saying, would you ever like stop Jesus from doing something he wanted or something?
I mean,
that
if
he
you can
did?
point to something that Jesus did that I wouldn't do based on a moral thing, please go ahead and do that.
I didn't say I could. I was saying that it's like saying I wouldn't do this thing that Jesus did. It's like it betrays the religion.
Yeah, I guess, but except
seen,
you wouldn't do it. You
Muslims
wouldn't do a thing that Muhammad did because it's disgusting and vile and evil, and you wouldn't do a thing Jesus did because you weren't good enough to do it. Pretty much would be.
I don't think I'd wash someone's feet. To be fair.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
like-
Yeah. So it'd be
I
like.
don't think it's a bad thing to do, like though. But...
Right. So Newman
wouldn't
says,
do it.
remember that people used to dump waste on the streets, so washing feet was especially nasty, right? As you'd walk there and stuff. Also, Newman says,
true.
Sam Shamoon blocked me way before when I didn't send him a link to a video fast enough. At least he didn't cuss me out. It's crazy, man.
Have you seen him take on 10 Muslims?
Take on 10 Muslims?
Sam Shamoon versus 10 Muslims.
No.
Oh, this is it's so funny.
This is
it's not in the shorts or anything.
Yeah.
That's the one.
You
Yeah,
don't
that's the
tell me
one,
how to
that's-
address your prophet when your prophet talked khara about people and molested them. Chapter 4, verse 24 of the Quran. Okay, now let's get to the point. I'm recording it here. Okay, get to the point. What was it about Jesus having
It's
a God?
conceited,
And you
by the
said
way.
that he worshipped Allah. Okay, get to the point, buddy.
Don't be half man like your God.
No, I don't want to be a pedophile like your prophet who licked the black stone. Insult my... Shut up, stone licker. Let the guy defend his religion.
Yo, Hala Hogan,
Yes.
open up to Isaiah chapter 6, verse 6 to 8 right now.
Oh, easy. Can you tell me what the... I know it. I'm going to deal with it. Okay, can I address it? Stop barking. Calm down. That coal from the altar, what was it? The coal from the altar, what was it? See? Can you not talk over me? Let me talk to Matthew. He doesn't need you, Shia, to help him. Can you explain what the coal is, the significance of the coal in the altar? No, he didn't kiss the coal. See, that shows you you're illiterate like your prophet. Let me read it. Let me read it. I know you're an ummi like your prophet. And I said, woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphim to me, having in his hand a burning coal, which he had taken with the tongues from the altar, and he touched my mouth, you lying ummi. He didn't kiss it. The seraph brought it to burn his mouth from impurity. Now, do you know the significance of the coal? Okay.
Also, like, what is the argument that, like, the argument from Sam Shamoon to the Muslim is, like, you guys literally march around this meteor, which was worshipped by Baal worshippers before Islam came around, and you kiss it, and you climb over each other trying to kiss this, like, physical thing. And I guess they say it points to God, like they try to equate it to being like the same way that we venerate our saints or whatever, but it's not, because it's a relic, it's an artifact from pagan worship, whatever. And then the Muslims' defenses go to Isaiah 6, and Isaiah kisses a coal.
Well, it's a good argument against Catholics, because they worship, like, they don't worship, quote unquote, but they venerate things like the spear that pierced Christ's body.
I mean, we would too.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. It's an object.
But there's no misconception. Like, the spear that pierced Christ's body, or say any relic of any saint that was, achieved theosis or anything
Jesus
like
Christ,
that,
dude.
is all about Jesus and all about Christ. Like, we don't take any sort of like pagan ritual, Baal ritual. It's a veneration. It's showing respect to something, and if you're praying to
I can't think of
anyone,
something more heretical than the thing that killed Jesus.
the
that's
cross.
the cross, though, isn't
the
it?
cross
I
is
think the
that.
cross is the whole
That's
thing.
the
I mean,
whole
the cross
point.
was just there. I wouldn't blame the cross for doing nothing, but the spear.
I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know how to respond to that.
I mean,
the whole point
cross
is
just there. But
the whole point is defeating death by death. So things like the cross, the sphere.
I think you just liked that and heard that.
Saint Longinus. So like, it's a reverse. Jesus came to reverse death for us. So the images that are typically associated with brutality and violence and death, we can venerate as these exalted things that Christ came to transmute into things that are glorious. I don't see anything wrong with venerating the spear. Because Saint Longinus is a
then
saint.
what's wrong with her? What's wrong with venerating the cube?
Because
I don't know what it's called. So
because the cube historically before Muhammad and before Islam, regardless of the fact that Islam in general worships like a demon, so even whatever worship they're offering, they're venerating, they're still offering it up ultimately to a demon. But the cube itself was literally the center of Baal worship, and the Baal worshippers would also have to face Mecca when they were praying and stuff like that. So it's just this like direct translation. We don't have anything that was like
7 times.
And what's that? And walk around it 7 times, right? Circumambulate it.
Yeah.
So it's just like weirder. You know, I think
again,
it is
like,
a
the
slip.
spirit
I'll
killed
agree with
God.
you, Infamous.
Like, you know what I mean?
I will agree with you, Infamous, to the extent that I think it's a slippery slope for Sam Shamoon to really hinge on the kissing the stone when in both Catholicism and in
I
Orthodoxy.
feel like there's a better argument against Muslims than
Yeah, I think there are much, much, much stronger arguments against Islam than just the fact that they venerate the stone, although it is troubling the way that they are just repeating pagan worship from the 7th century, supposedly to their monotheism.
Christians like often do Christmas, dude. That's a pagan fucking...
No, that's debunked. That's not a pagan.
No, that's wrong. Can I tell you why that's wrong?
Yeah, please, Tony.
Okay.
Yeah. So this I've heard this many times before, and I actually fell for this. So the pagan holiday on the 25th, the Christians in the Middle East or wherever it was in the year like 200, 300, 400, wherever it was, they already had December 25th as the date for Christmas. Coincidentally, so did someone else. Well, another holiday or another celebration in Europe, but those Christians never came into contact with those that were doing it on the 25th. So it didn't.
I'm not even gonna get into that because it's not my culture. So I'm just gonna bring up another one. Halloween. That's ours.
All Saints Day.
Nope, that's ours.
What do you mean?
We invented
Halloween's made up. Halloween was made up in America, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. Halloween is Irish.
Really?
Is it? Oh, cool. Can
Yeah.
you go into that?
Saint
That's very interesting.
It's an Irish religion, or not an Irish religion, but it's an Irish superstition.
Right.
That used to be about. So it wasn't originally pumpkins that you'd put outside your house. It was some kind of cantaloupe that you'd put outside your house. But sorry.
Potatoes.
Yeah, no, but you put it out of your house too because that day of the year was the closest to the spirits, and so it was like the one day where spirits could fully cross over into our world and like affect us. And in Irish tradition, it's they're malevolent a lot of the time. Like don't get me wrong, there are nice ones, but a lot of them are tricksters and malevolent.
Yeah.
And so you'd keep things outside your house, like scarecrows and stuff,
interesting.
to keep them out and away from your house and harvest.
Cool. Like gargoyles out of buildings.
Yeah, a bit like gargoyles actually. But basically, it was just to keep things away, and you would leave treats and stuff around the front of your door so that they wouldn't try harder to get into your house and fuck with you.
Interesting. Interesting.
Where did the jack-o'-lanterns come from? The pumpkins.
That's an American. That's an American
because
thing. That's American.
they were sticking pumpkins over black people essentially when they were hung.
Yeah, that's an American thing.
Oh wow.
Right.
That's cool.
Do you know why
that's where I heard pumpkins.
You know why we call cigarettes fags?
Why is that? Because it's kind of like a little bundle of sticks, like the cigarette itself, like the tobacco kind of looks like a bundle of sticks.
No, because we used to wrap gay people in cloth, usually a carpet, and light their heads on fire.
What? That's why you call cigarettes that? That's
I
even
didn't find that out for a long time.
worse. That's even. I thought it was like a wholesome like miscommunication or something, but it's actually the same
no,
word.
It's fucking evil, dude. Yeah.
It's the same word as over here.
As well.
That's crazy.
We've got pork fags. Pork faggots. Sorry, we've got pork faggots over here.
What are those?
I don't know.
There's like pork faggots. They're kind of like meatballs. Essentially. For some reason, they're called pork faggots. I saw them in the supermarket the other day in the frozen aisle in Tesco's.
That is wild.
Yeah, we just call them fags. Like honestly, like I was in an art school, so like I was around a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like myself, but what's it called? And Tony, you don't know this, but I'm I guess the term for you, I'm bi, whatever. But basically, I was
Yeah, I'll
around a
come
bunch
guess
of.
that.
Yeah, you're welcome. If you're over here, you know what to call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's it called? And so like everyone's okay with it. Like no one gives a fuck. Like it's not a cigarette. I guess it could be alright if you called it a sickie, but like it's a fucking fact. Like,
Yeah,
I'm with
yeah.
that.
Wow.
And there's a very funny story I have.
Can I bum a fag?
It's actually something to do with that. It's a very funny story. We were over in America once, right? And we have family over there.
Oh, okay.
Right? And you know yourself, Tony, I think if you have this thing over there where it's like if someone's smoking a cigarette, right, you'll be like, can I get the arse of that? Right?
Can I get the arse of that?
Can I get the end of it?
Yeah.
Can I get the arse of that? So my mother
We
says
just
this.
call them like fag ends.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right.
my mother says this to an American man in the front of a car while he's driving. He's smoking. And he goes, can I get the arse of that fag?
What? That
He's
is how
freaking
you...
out in the front. He goes, "Are you talking about my son?" Because his son was sitting beside him.
Are you
"What
talking about
man?"
that? Are you talking about my son?
I'm
That's
like, no, we're not talking
hilarious.
about your son. We're talking about the cigarette in our mouth. You fucking weirdo.
That is so funny. But it actually, like, so for me, the whole time, I thought, like, oh, yeah, funny thing, like, you crazy Brits and whatever, people in the UK call them fags, but it's got to have, like, a different connotation. It can't be the same connotation. No, it's exactly the same. So you guys are just cool with that, which I appreciate.
It's just been
speech
called
level.
the same thing for so long. There's no real point, and everyone who's an LGBTQIA member
Yeah.
in Ireland doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, they
because
just don't care.
smoke fags.
Oh, that's great. That's so funny.
No one's calling them ciggies and shit. You're like,
Yeah.
"Give me a fag there."
Interesting. Okay.
Or rollie. I guess you call them a rollie if you're doing rollies.
A rollie. Thank God I'm not monetized yet. This whole stream will be done. So Numanon says, okay, this is an interesting point. The issue is that in Islam, veneration is forbidden unless to God. So, like, I'm guessing directly to God. So Sam is just reversing the argument against venerating icons by pointing out how Muslims venerate things too. Sam isn't saying it's bad to venerate things. He's saying, as an internal critique of Islam, you both forbid veneration and then march around this stone and kiss it. So I think that's the more full critique that he's presenting when he does that.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. I wanted to watch this.
Stoves, $10. I'm Orthodox. I'm planning to visit a church. How do I explain fasting to my friend and family without sounding legalistic? Well, if your family's visiting, if you're taking them to church, you don't have to immediately start explaining fasting and all this stuff. Just let them ease into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Treat it like a cult. Ease them into it like a Mormon or a Scientologist.
like a Mormon.
Don't immediately go to the aliens, bro. You gotta ease them into, oh, we're friends, man. We friends. We BFF. Oh, we love you. Love bomb them.
Love
and
bomb
then
'em.
ease them into the crazy aliens. Oh, you gotta fast because the aliens will get you if you don't fast.
That's
Chris
hilarious.
Stokes,
I like when Jay just gets like goofy. That is so funny.
Can't say I'm a big fan of these quotes.
Infamous. Did you see? Did you see his answer to solipsism?
Oh yeah, let's look at that. Yeah, that was good. That
If you go to my
Yep.
YouTube channel,
I saw.
it should be there.
Oh yeah,
I think you posted it in our Discord as well. Here it is, though.
Hopefully, unless I need to upload it again.
Is it this? I think it's this one.
Slowboy Whiteboard says for $20, I want to kick off the super chat goal here. Well, thank you so much. You are one tenth of the way
Oh, I
there.
don't think so.
And then not this one.
I swear I
Non-
uploaded this.
I swear you posted
hang on,
it.
hang on.
I think you posted it in our chat, so I should be able to.
Lads, like,
Here it is. Or no, it is this one.
Is this one? Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, 5 pounds. How do you disprove solipsism? Because the solipsist will keep saying, I don't know, it's outside of my mind. Well, you point out that solipsism is a self-refuting position. In other words, if solipsism is true, you could never know that it's true because everything that's happening to you is thus part of the solipsist simulation. And if everything is part of the projection or the simulation or in your mind, you don't have any way to know the true versus the false because everything is equalized. If everything is equalized and there's no delineation between the true and the false, then There is no true and false. Thus, you could never know that solipsism is true. So, just like relativism, solipsism is a self-refuting position that makes the justification of knowledge impossible.
That doesn't make any
So
sense.
That's what your friend is missing.
Yeah, why is that?
Because we're talking about an internal system, not necessarily an external system. He's talking about the external system, he might be correct, but we're talking about the internal system, right? Truth isn't necessarily dependent on an external source. Like, for instance, me being myself is true independent of any external self.
You being
the things can be true separate from an external experience, or not external experience.
Wait, so how?
Thing that is external.
But how is it true? How are you using true? I don't really understand that.
Well, okay, for instance, right? Let's say I haven't had any experiences yet, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I know is that I exist.
Yeah.
That's still true. I don't have to have any experience of the outside world for that to be true. So logic, knowledge, truth can all be derived without an external reference.
But doesn't I imply that there's a self?
Right, there's a self, but that's not external.
So how do you know
that's internal?
How do you know that's true?
Because it's internal. I experience it.
But just because you experience it, it's true?
It's necessary for the question, yeah. To question it is to demonstrate. It can't be proven false, therefore it must be true.
Well, it could be proven.
That isn't incorrect, because not all falsifiable things are true. It cannot be false. Because for it to be false would mean it's true.
Construction worker and talked about this. They'd laugh you
No,
out.
no, I haven't. Would you ever fuck off?
Okay, so Nimino has questions. Okay, so my own mind is deceiving me, so I can't even trust my own mind. So doesn't this whole logical process of I exist and that's internal and therefore it's the first
The self
thing...
system has to do with the external world. The problem is external, right? Does anything outside of myself exist?
Right, and so if you couldn't know that to be the case, given solipsism, then you can't
Then you can't make any opinion on the outside
anything
world. I would
external.
agree.
But I'm saying I don't even think you could know anything internal, because that still required you still had to use reason and logic and the meaning of words to make that.
But those can be derived from the internal, that can be derived from the self.
Okay, so how do you do that? That's where I guess I'm confused. How do you do that?
Okay, so let's take the starting of existence, right? Let's just say I exist. Now I have to question things, right? To question anything.
Right. So how do you question? How do you question things without knowing that reason, meaning, all the rest are true yet?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That any question, right? Any questioning of the position demonstrates its truth.
What?
Yeah, like any questioning of the self proves the self because someone's questioning.
What? I don't really understand.
What do you mean?
that.
What? That made sense.
Well,
dude,
okay,
this is the part where I get so fucking frustrated because what I just said made
You're right. I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry, but it is just the questioning of the self proves the
demonstrates the self. Because who's questioning?
Well, you don't really know. That's the first question, really.
What do you mean you don't know? If I am questioning it, then the I is proven. The questioning of it demonstrates its truth.
But do you see how that's all logic?
It's like what use. Yeah, exactly. The use of the self infers logic.
So using
They're
logic.
self-evident because the self exists.
So using logic demonstrates logic.
The absence of logic also proves logic.
The absence of logic.
Like the proposition logic doesn't exist proves logic because it proposes a truth value. It's like saying I don't exist. Okay, this is perfect. It's like saying I don't exist. Doesn't that disprove itself?
I don't exist? No, I don't think so.
No, but it disproves itself. It's like saying I don't exist, but someone is saying the sentence.
Well, but you
So
don't
it's
know that
clearly
it's
wrong.
I that's saying the sentence.
Someone's saying the sentence.
Yeah, so it doesn't disprove that I don't exist. It could just be someone.
A proposition can only be made by an agent, and if I say agents don't exist, that's a proposition.
Well, don't
So
you
it
say
refutes itself.
that agents don't exist?
No. What are you?
Well, you believe in
Okay, man,
determinism. Don't you believe in determinism?
Yeah, but I don't think the agents don't exist. What do you define as an agent?
A being with will.
I've heard you say you're a foundationalist.
Yeah, I can go either way on that. It depends on if you think that there is something more foundational than thinking is happening, or I think therefore I am. I feel like there's no pillar further than that.
I
So
would
it
say
could be
thinking is happening is more foundational than the self. I
yeah,
think,
it's more
for
of
sure.
a thing where it's like it's more packaged with I because you are the thinking agent, but
But you don't
it
know
depends.
that.
And either way, if it's more, that's still a foundation beyond the first one. So you know what I mean? Like it's if there's one pillar, then there's one pillar. I'm not sure. I could go either way if someone presents to me something that's equal.
Okay.
But I'm okay with the idea of like a web of reason.
Okay, so Numenon says, I don't get infamous external versus internal thing. Those all necessitate a universal. For example, the self being true requires a commitment to the view that nothing is making the self not exist at the moment.
What are you talking about? That's not okay. That isn't the position. The position is that any way of I think, therefore I am being wrong invokes I think, therefore I am. Like it invokes it. You must invoke it to question. You must invoke
So
it.
doesn't that make it like super circular and self-refuting, or no?
No, it means that it's a necessary step to use logic. Like it's like, for instance,
it's basically
if I say
yeah.
Well, it's like you saying that God is necessary for logic, right? Like you think that.
Yeah, well, I think the existence of a God would justify logic.
Well, forget about justifying. You think he's needed for it, right? Like whatever about it being justified reason-wise, you think he's needed for it to exist, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and I think to
That's
be
just
able
not how
to
I
use
formulate
logic,
the argument, but yeah.
Well, I think to be able to access logic as a thinking being, right, before you like have then reason for God doing it or justifying it in objective reality of any sort, you need to acknowledge the self. Otherwise, you can't hold any position because you don't necessarily exist. But there's no way to say that you don't exist because you have to consider all those things, which means the self has to be the case. Like there's no way to question the self. It's self-evident.
Okay, so that's the position then. The self is just self-evident. It's just like
wait, there's no way to question it. It can't be incorrect because for it to be incorrect would it prove that it is true.
Can the self be a computer simulation?
I mean, what do you mean by computer simulation?
Like, or a simulation, whatever. Can this?
Yeah,
I have no idea. I'm literally just shooting the breeze. So
yeah, me too.
If the outside could be a simulation, then why can't the self, the inside?
Right.
I mean, whether or not I'm a simulation, it depends on what you define as a simulation. Like, if the self is a simulation, it still exists. It's still self-referential, like whatever. Like,
but
okay,
what if
I'm
it's
made out
not?
of ones
Yeah.
and zeros. What's the difference between that and atoms? Like,
no, I agree with that, but it also could be like the self, is not well.
Like, I'm not saying anything about the nature of the self, what it's made of anything like that.
Yeah.
The only proposition is that it exists.
Numenon makes the statement that let's see something's happening in the chat, so let's check that out. The idea that solipsistic worldviews entail that there are possibilities that your mind can't reason, and those being possible is what is self-refuting. So the self-refutation is not like the self assuming
Numenon
the
just
self.
agreed with me, but maybe I misheard that.
It's that your mind can't reason. There are possibilities, given solipsism, that your mind cannot reason, and yet that everything you just said, as reasonable and sound as it sounds, if it's the case that your mind can't reason, it still isn't true.
Yeah, any proposition for you to demonstrate that the mind can't reason would be using reason with a mind.
So what about if someone?
Yeah, but that would work in a worldview where that would work from the worldview that solipsism is false. That's why we're actually using the reason. But if we're trying to disprove
that's what I'm saying, is
solipsism,
that it's impossible to prove, it's impossible to disprove the self. Because by doing it or trying it, be invoking it.
Okay, maybe. I mean, I don't know, but it's not really the self that we're disproving. It's solipsism. That all
right,
that.
But solipsism is the problem, right? Is ultimate doubt, right? And the initial cogito, I think, therefore I am, is the only refutation to that ultimate doubt, which is the only thing that you can absolutely prove to exist with ultimate doubt is that the self exists. Now, I say that you can go further than that, as like many foundationalists do.
Okay, how about this? Wait.
If you can.
Okay, so I'll say I grant you that. I'm not sure if I totally do, but say I grant you, like, okay, the only thing that we can know that can challenge ultimate doubt is I think, therefore I am. Okay, how about the next proposition? Reason exists.
Sure. So, for instance, you can have like an internal system, right?
But you could doubt that, right?
I could doubt that the self can have an internal system.
No. That reason exists. Because the only thing you can confirm, given solipsism...
What do you mean by can doubt? Because I can doubt that the self exists, but then it refutes itself.
Yeah. I'm just saying...
Ultimate doubt isn't the proposition that you can doubt it. It's the proposition that you can't prove it to not be the case.
You can't...
Do you doubt that we have minds?
Do I doubt that you have minds? No, I don't care to fucking doubt that. If I live in the Matrix, then I don't care as long as, no one shows me the red pill, right? But like,
I actually watched the Matrix today.
I have never actually watched the Matrix.
Oh, you should. It's a good movie. Good movie.
Yeah. But like
it gets
here's the
worse
thing.
as the series goes along, but it's still a good series.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing. I'm a pragmatist, right? Like, I'm in the Matrix. Cool. I don't fucking know that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking know that. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm a pragmatist, right? So I'm gonna believe other people exist because to do the opposite is against my fucking against my I guess health, to be honest. But like if like we're talking about like the foundations of my logical system, right? It's the self exists. Now that has implications, like direct logical implications, right? If the self exists, then the law of identity is true. The law of identity is true. It applies to the rest of the laws of logic. And then, so now we have a foundation.
Well, I guess that's what I'm wondering. Like, if the self exists, why does it follow that the law of identity is true?
Because the self is the self.
But how do you know it only equals itself and nothing else? Because you can be tricked about everything else except the self. So this is by definition
I mean, you're just saying that I can be, but I'm not saying that that's the case. It's a direct logical not interpretation. It's a direct logical implication that the self exists, therefore the laws of logic exist.
I've got a couple of bullet points I'd like to read out, if that's all right.
Sure,
Very quick. It says, the argument from language. Language relies on shared meanings and rules that are established through social interaction. If only one mind exists, it is difficult to explain how language, which requires shared understanding and conventions, could have developed. The very
I'll give you a better argument, Tony.
Yes, go for it.
I'll give you a better argument in your favor, right? Saying that I'm a solipsist, right? That I accept that no other minds exist, like that's called hard solipsism. You think that no one else exists except you, right? Those people believe that they created every bit of art, every bit of music, every fine symphony they've ever heard in their brain, or not in their brain, but in their head, not in their head, in their mind. They created all that, right? That to me is fucking ridiculous and is a strong reason for me to believe that an external world does exist. Is it an absolute proof that it exists? I don't think so. I think it's a probabilistic thing. It's definitely not like a logical proof that it exists, but or that it doesn't exist. But to think that I came up with all of the symphonies that ever existed is crazy.
Yeah.
But if you took that worldview, why would you be upset about some sort of natural disaster or bombing or whatever?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a hard solipsist, so I've never met one.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's
I've
the thing.
legitimately never met one.
I don't. Somehow we always.
That's what puzzled me.
They do exist, though.
Yeah, I've never met one
You said
either.
to me before that you couldn't give a shit about life. We were talking about abortion or something like that, and you're like,
yeah.
Yeah,
you did.
And then 3 minutes later, you said, well, we stand with the Gazans in Ireland because we think Israel can't spell. How are you? Yeah, how can you go from we don't give a shit about life and then Israel?
Wait, can I can I steel man your position? I think I know how. I think I know how. Wait, is infamous? Which is your position?
Try and explain it.
Is because Gazans are sentient. So we don't give a. I don't give a shit about life. I do give a shit about sentience. Although I don't know why you care about
sentience
that.
Sentience is very terribly defined. So I'll tell you exactly what I believe.
Okay, go for it.
But I will say you are very close. The thing that
I'm not saying I agree
about,
with that, by the way. I just think I know where your head's at.
the thing that I care about is the ability to deploy a subjective experience, right? Like, for instance, if you can feel pain in any real way. For instance, I don't think that you took my nervous system out of my body and then stabbed it after I was dead. That there's any real hurt to me done there, right? Even though
So
my
you're
nervous
cool
system
with
would
that?
probably twitch.
Are you cool with like
I'd be dead.
necrophilia and stuff too because of that?
No, because they have meaning to the actual person. Like, for instance, like if my family found out that shit happened, it would hurt them materially.
But what if they didn't find out?
If they never found out and no hurt was had,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'd still feel weird about it.
Yeah, but why is my question.
I mean, I feel weird thinking about it. I don't know if anything's
No, I know,
necessarily wrong.
but really, I mean, in your view, it doesn't hurt nobody.
Well, I mean, like, do you think anything is wrong if no one's hurt?
I mean, I think
Which includes God, by the way.
I think a lot of things are wrong if nobody's hurt. Like, for instance, me watching porn, right? Well, and you could argue that does hurt.
I mean, someone's hurt
somebody,
from that. Someone's hurt.
Yeah, you could argue that is hurt. But yeah, no, I mean, this isn't my worldview. I'm just curious how you justify, like, say,
Well, I'm asking if you
forbidding.
agree with me because, like, I genuinely hold this belief that I think that it's all right if most things are okay if no one is like genuinely hurt.
I guess I just don't
Like,
know.
if later
you
down the
mean by
line, for
hurt.
instance, like necrophilia leads to that person having a fucking like infection, then yeah, like that's wrong. But like, if no one ever finds out that anything is hurt or anyone is ever hurt from anything, like, is there a reason for it to be wrong? Like, we only care about like living being, like, well, you care about living beings, and whether or not their experiences lead to like pain and suffering.
That's
Well,
what
in
I
our
care about.
view,
I don't
it
think
would
that's
be.
really
Yeah,
the
we would.
basis of my morality.
Well, I mean, you care about it's the same as God, like, because you think God is hurt in that instance, right?
Well, yeah,
Even if no one ever
I
finds
think
out.
God is
the world and the
offended
devil.
by sin, and I guess I could
Right, you
find
think
it in
he's
the
hurt,
scripture,
yeah.
but I'm just guessing that it's a sin to fuck a dead body.
Yeah,
but-
I'm willing to
you know what I
accept
mean?
that, yeah.
Like, so,
I'm willing to give you that.
so, but from your
But
perspective,
it's still, it hurt
I think
someone, right?
I think you would have to confirm that, and tell me how you would resist this. That if you work at a morgue and it's 1 a.m. in the morning, and the family will absolutely, and you knew for sure the family will never find out. Maybe they
Well,
don't
I'd
have
still think
any
that it's
family.
wrong. I'd still think that it's wrong mainly because like you're running the risk. Like, you know what I mean? You're running the risk. It's gonna hurt you. in
But
the
what
long
if they
run.
don't have a family? Like, you know for a fact, this is a very old
No,
person.
no, no. I'm
they
saying
don't
you're
have
running
a
the risk
family.
of like developing like the same thing as like, for instance, porn.
All right. I mean, I
Like,
don't
you're
see
running
why
the
you would see
same-
that.
the same like what do you mean? Like, it's the same kind of like addictive thing. Like, have a healthy relationship, and this is like
Oh, you think it would be like mentally, but like then why do you think
Yeah,
it's
it would mentally
mentally wrong if it like doesn't, like, you think you would get addicted to it or something?
Yeah, I think it could be like an addictive thing. Like, you'd now chase for more of that or want more of it if you liked it.
What if you
just did
like?
it was weird, but
What if your like
I guess it
college
depends if we.
buddy dared you, and it's like you actually really don't want to do it, but he'll pay you like $5,000, and you're kind of like, oh well, nobody will figure it
mentally
out.
degrading myself for money, bro. Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just don't see it. That doesn't seem very consistent
Like
in your worldview.
I wanna ask you here. Like, do
Yeah.
you only care if things are wrong? For instance, right?
Mhm.
If they like hurt someone with a subjective experience, because God would be included in this, right? So if you just say that, like, I only care about God's standard, right? He is someone with a subjective experience that is hurt by these things.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. I agree.
But you don't agree because I'm saying nobody will find out. Oh, you're saying, but it hurts you to do the necrophilia, even though you really want to, or
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure, but then like, how does it hurt you?
Well, I mean, in the same way that porn would. In your view.
It depends where your world.
I'm not sure how porn actually would.
Teleological universe, then there is no such thing as hell.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah, if it's all determined anyway, I'm not sure it's clear that there is any like sort of malicious harm, but
well, determined or not, unnecessary suffering, which I guess doesn't exist.
well, it can't be unnecessary because it actually
I know, I
all
just said that,
suffering would
brother.
be necessary actually.
I just said that, brother.
Okay, good.
Shall we carry on with this thing? This video?
Which thing was it? Oh, right. Oh, wait, we're real quick.
Mhm.
Would you be okay with the same situation
Mhm.
if God was not offended by it?
Would I be okay? Well, it's just impossible that God would not be offended by that.
Right, but if
in like a backwards universe, or like if I was a Hindu or something.
Sure, whatever, dude. If God wasn't offended by it, would you be okay with it?
I mean, yeah, I was okay with all. I was okay with all sorts of stuff when I thought God wasn't real.
Okay. So okay, we're in the same boat. That's fine.
Yeah, except I'm just exposing that
that doesn't mean I was right just because I thought that back then, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying that like if you admit that like if nobody is offended by it, including God, then it's okay. Then we're in the same boat.
Oh, I thought you were asking if I would think it was okay.
Well, I mean, I didn't say if you think it was good or anything. Just like that, it's not necessarily a moral question.
When I thought God didn't exist, I was completely fine. I was fine with people like killing themselves. I think I would, if you caught me on one of my edgier days, I probably would have actually made the argument for necrophilia. Given, I think I would have just bit the bullet and said, yeah, if no one finds out, I don't see what's wrong with it. I would have said that.
Well, it's not about finding out. It's like I think if nobody is hurt in any action,
that's what I mean.
No
that's what I would have. I would have stipulated.
But
yeah.
I think that necrophilia is a hurting thing. Like I think it does provide like societal like.
I'm not sure. Let me really put myself back into my horribly depressing nihilistic shoes.
I'm an optimistic nihilist. It's great.
Yeah, right. Why? I don't actually see if you're born with a predilection for dead bodies. In the case where there's no harm to another person, as in nobody finds out, whatever, yada yada yada. There's
what do
no
you mean
family.
Another person? Are you not? Are we not including the subject in this?
The necrophiliac. Well, I'm getting to that. So
it would make you feel good necessarily in like the short term, but like in the long term, it has terribly detrimental effects, especially health ones.
But why?
Not to mention the societal ones.
What's the health?
Ask a doctor. I assume there are fucking bad effects of fucking a dead body.
I mean, I'm not sure.
You're not sure if there's bad effects of fucking
I mean,
body.
maybe there are. Okay, so fine. But okay, so say either the necrophiliac is well aware of these bad effects and either takes precautions against them or is just okay with them in the same way that, like, you know, you might break a leg
You're
while
okay with
playing
drinking alcohol.
Yeah, you're okay with drinking alcohol, even though it kind of damages your liver because there's a trade-off in life. So the necrophiliac is aware of the negative potential outcomes, is either okay with them or protects against them, and all the rest. And it's like you have this totally neutral situation. I
mean, if you have a totally neutral situation, then whatever.
I don't see why it would be bad for the necrophiliac from the atheistic perspective, where there's no objective morality.
Well, I mean, you've defined it as a totally neutral perspective, so you're just basically saying, like, if there's nothing immoral about it, then it's not immoral. But, you know.
Well, I'm just asking what is immoral about it from the atheistic perspective.
I mean, in that scenario, there's nothing because you've defined it.
Right. And so that's not a completely unreasonable scenario. That could happen in real life.
I actually don't think that it can, but sure.
Really? Like someone works at a morgue and they're the only one there and it's a late night?
Well, separate from the health effects, dude, there's like innumerable societal risks. Like
what are
dude,
the societal
if anyone
risks?
ever finds out that you do this, that's one thing. But if we define it as no one will ever find out about it, then there's addiction risk, like where you could just become addicted to doing more of it.
That's true.
Or
you
you
would
could
need to
want
have
more
like
of it.
you'd have
get
to
the
have
urge and
like
shit.
a view of the future to know that nobody would find out.
Yeah, which is never a situation that actually
I guess
exists.
that's fair. Ish.
Yeah, and like
I
if
mean,
you
it
were in a
still just
society,
puts you
for instance,
into
right,
well,
where-
whatever society thinks is right, which is highly.
But it's like how
problematic,
drinking
but-
alcohol when you know how drinking alcohol when it was illegal, that might have been actually actually wrong, depending on how dangerous it was for you. Like in prohibition, like if you could have gotten like let's say someone got murdered for it, right? We know the future.
Yep.
Then it's wrong, right? But the risk alone, dude, and added to the health factors, it might have actually just been wrong to do it.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny how many hoops we have to jump through for like.
I mean, we're talking about morality. We always jump through hoops.
No, just for subjective morality. There's so many qualifiers. It becomes almost impossible. It's like a utilitarian project. I'm not saying it is utilitarian. I'm saying it's like that in the sense that there's so many factors unknown and known and.
Well, I mean, yeah. If you just say that God knows all of them, here's a rule set. It's very easy.
Well,
I
yeah,
agree.
the rule set is very easy. Love yourself, love
Well,
your
I don't
neighbor.
think- I mean, I don't think
love
it's
God
very
and love your
easy if
neighbor
you
is
try
quite
to-
easy, and it actually covers a bunch of stuff. So if you love your neighbor, you don't fuck his dead body.
I mean, he's not there anymore.
Well, you also believe in a bodily resurrection, so you really don't do that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say the body resurrection. I think you believe in an afterlife and think he might be able to look at you. And now you've definitely caused him some displeasure. But then again, you think
And
that
yeah.
you think that in heaven there is no displeasure. So I guess there mightn't be anything wrong with it. There Christian.
Well, yeah, you'd think it would be maybe in purgatory. You guys, you guys work it out or whatever.
Yeah, like while you're waiting in line, you have like a fucking screening of your
I'm not saying. By the way, I'm not saying we believe in purgatory, but there is a cleansing third place that is sort of mysterious to the Orthodox that Catholics have sort of, I guess, figured out somehow. I don't know how they've done that, but okay, cool, interesting. How about this? Do you see what's on my screen right now? And I'm not trying to just put you in a corner. We can do something else if you want. But
black.
My screen is blank?
I mean, the video is blank.
I've just got a blank YouTube video.
Oh, it's because I'm in Discord. That's interesting. Here, let me just do this. Okay, one second. Okay, how about now? Okay, you should be able to see that. So what is your causal evidence for the origin of structured order itself?
Brother, I can't see shit, bro.
I've got nothing either.
Okay.
It's on your stream on Discord.
How about now? Oh, is it because
nothing changed?
Really?
Are you doing this on your camera? Because you don't have a camera.
No, I'm doing it. It's Discord should be just streaming my desktop. Oh, it's not. Oh, because it's streaming. It's not streaming my desktop. That's why. Okay. So, are you guys seeing anything now?
Now you're not streaming.
No, I'm not streaming. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, entire screen. Screen 1. Screen share.
Here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Now you see it, right?
Oh, you sent this earlier.
Yeah, so what for the origin at T? I'm just gonna read through it and see if I understand. I don't even know if I understand, but I wanted to bring it up because I thought we might as well. At T equals 0, the hot, dense state of the Big Bang still required laws, rules, and framework because no laws exists without structured order. So what is your evidence for the very existence of order at all? Every explanation you might give, quantum foam, multiverse, crystals, whatever, already presupposes structured order. That would be circular, order from order because of order, thus order. Extraordinary, then they're a little cheeky, which I'm not promoting per se. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Show me evidence for the cause of structured order itself, not just examples that rely on pre-existing structured order, frameworks, laws, rules. Bring non-existence into structured order, functional existence without pre-existing structured order. Is that compelling to anyone?
He's talking about like the fucking Big Bang, dude. I'm not a cosmologist.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think it's actually a philosophical question or a philosophy.
Yeah, he's
of
like
science.
trying to ask a philosophical. Yeah, he's trying to ask like a philosophical question with science in it, and I'm like, I'm not a cosmologist. Yeah, I don't know.
It's presupposing that he's going against an atheist's presuppositions of order, isn't he? So,
I mean, I think
there's order. We're presupposing order for there to be order. So how do you get to that?
I'm not presupposing it. I think order exists as a self-evident thing, like from the self.
From inside. Oh yeah. That's solid.
I don't know why it exists or if it has a justification. I just know that it exists. Because to question whether it exists presupposes it.
Yeah, well, essentially what you're saying is I don't know. I can use it, but I don't know how it's come about.
Well, I don't know if it needs to come about. That's the thing.
Oh, right, okay.
Like,
Is
there a possibility that and I'm not using possibility in the modal term, but like, could it be the case that there are like 3 things that exist that have no justification? It's not a very neat, reality. There's not just one thing, but like, could it be the case? I see no reason for there not to be, and no one has ever proven that it can't be. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't think you could ever prove that like things can't just be, because no one has ever been able to prove it. Like it's like it seems like a claim we can't investigate. But you think God just is, so. Well, like for instance, you think God just is, right? And you think that the only thing that's needed for existence is God, right? But what if Joe is over in the side, right? And he's the same. Like, why can't he be there?
So you're saying we think God just well, I guess.
Well, you think he exists as a necessity?
Yeah, we believe that he's necessary. He's a necessary precondition.
Right, and so I'm saying that while you say that he justifies like logic and reasoning, etc., I'm saying that logic and reasoning exist, and I don't know if they need a justification because no one's ever demonstrated that they need one.
Well, fair enough. I understand what you're saying.
All right.
Yeah. At the
Never
end of
thought
the
I'd hear
day,
Tony
none
say
of us, this side of reality, this side of life, like we're not going to find any like formal answer, I guess.
Sure.
So I've heard John Lennox say on this. Can you provide some? But he was asked the question: can you provide formal evidence of God's existence? He was like, no, there's no formal evidence to prove or disprove God's existence. So
yeah, God is an unfalsifiable claim. Like he can't be proven in like a mathematical sense or a logic sense, right? Where like you can go like he's necessary because reality exists, right? You can say that you think that logic and reasoning and shit like that needs a justification, therefore God, right? But you have to demonstrate premise one, which is that those things need a justification, and I've never seen anyone justify that. That's my that's my problem with tag is that's the first premise, and I don't agree with premise one. I think Streets' friend is over, dude.
No, you do. I'll stand up for you. Testing. Well, I wonder if this works. Okay, hey guys, we have a special guest. Let me get her a chair. And we will. I don't know. You keep chatting amongst yourself for a second, I guess.
No problem, dude.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Try to work
amongst yourselves.
Work well out.
Coffee talk.
I think you guys have
met. What are you working out, Tony?
Do I have to add like another? Otherwise, we can just share like we did last time. But nice.
Tony's trying to figure something out right now.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to do a bit of maths to work out some deals. I'm kind of like really flued up at the moment.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, we're just gonna share this one.
Dude, I did some plastering the other day for my fucking dad, dude. I don't know how the fuck he did that his whole life, dude. My back is fucked.
You saying something on the chat?
Oh man, it was awful, dude. I got paid, but fuck me, man. I don't know if it was working. I got paid really well, but it was worth it.
Man, how comes renting now so expensive?
And this is why I don't like it.
Well, I like capitalism. I don't like corporatism.
I mean, that's just an extended form of capitalism.
I think that's capitalism in its ultimate.
I agree. I think we can all agree with it.
It's the end goal of
if you say so.
You can put it right there.
I am actually an optimistic nihilist.
Okay, nice.
No, genuinely, like that's what I am. I think that when you're dead, that's it. But like, I think that makes life the rarest thing on the planet. Like for instance, like when you watch a TV show, you're like, do you go, oh, this is gonna end, I just don't want to watch it right now? Like, no, live it now.
Funny you say that, right? I watched a film called Troy, and Brad Pitt, who plays Achilles in there.
Okay. Yeah.
He says I think he says to his mother, the gods are jealous because everything's like fleeting for us, so therefore it's way more beautiful.
Way more valuable and beautiful. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're back. Sorry, streaming's happening. Let's Em, do you have any words for our people here today? We got Tony, we got Infamous, we got a couple people in the.
Are these the same people who I'm
like cutting out every end of the sentence.
Yeah.
Tony is not actually. Tony's new since you've been here.
Oh, I think I know who you brought over. I think I've seen a video of this girl.
You've seen Em before? Video of Em? I mean, she's been on this channel.
Yeah, that's her channel sometime.
on this show?
Yeah.
I was on
Is she
this
in
this show.
Okay.
This show.
Her show.
Reach out and touch faith. Boom, boom, boom.
Were you sitting on the couch talking about shit?
Oh,
Personal.
yeah.
Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers. Someone who cares.
That's a great song.
Boom, boom, boom. Have you ever heard the
Yeah.
acoustic one?
No, I haven't.
Ooh, it's a jam.
You
It's a
break it
jam,
up
and
so
you
bad.
should play it. If it won't get your video delisted.
Are we breaking up? What'd you say, Tony? Are we,
Break it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Interesting. I wonder why that is.
I was being too wrong.
It's probably because I have this.
Oh, I don't have my microphone. That's probably it.
Well, I think the microphone's not even working, so.
No, mic's working.
Well, this is, but I mean, I have a second one. Shall we were gonna do like stand-up style, like talking to these, but it's like not working. I gotta figure it out.
Is it on?
Well.
Is it on?
Oh wait, yeah, turn it on. Does that work?
Check.
Oh, it kind of
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sibilance. Okay.
You just say something to that.
Check. Check one.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, so we have our own mics now. That's nice. All right, you brought some visual aids for us. What do we got here?
No, we can't see you, so. Oh, I'm in Ireland.
Nowhere
I
near
fucking
Birmingham.
hate Birmingham. It's a fucking shithole.
Birmingham needs nuking.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear. Can you hear us?
Sometimes she just cuts out, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's cutting out. No, it's not. It's so often. It's not like constant cutting out, but it's like every 5-6 seconds get a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit of cut out.
No, it's actually very clear. Just put your mic like in between both of you.